here we are, episode 20 of the Stagler. I'm Justin. I almost said I'm Nick.
What the heck?
I'm Justin, though.
We're switching. That's our New Year's resolution.
We're switching names. So I officially, from now on, this voice is Nick.
And I'm Justin.
And this is still the Stagler, however.
Or the
Stagler Rel
Gats.
The Rel Gats. Even though that's not really switching. Be more like the Stagler the. This is Stagler the.
Or Rel Gats et.
Rel Gats et. Sure. Yeah, no, I get it. Anyway, I haven't seen all of you since last year.
It's been a whole year.
It's been a whole year since we last had an episode. That is a joke that I just came up with right now.
That was so funny.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, episode 20 and 2021.
That's, right now.
As in, it succeeded. We're 1 week into into the next year, and
off to a great start.
Off to a great start, you guys. You know, like
we're just rolling.
Really killing it. Who knows? Obviously,
it's going great.
The date isn't real. It doesn't really actually mean anything. So who expected anything to happen? But still, great start, guys. Keep it up. We're good work, everyone.
Yep.
So we're gonna. All I have to say is. Goodbye, 2020. Hello, 2020.
Yeah, we're in the real 2020 now.
For how it's going. 2020 New Game Plus.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. Exactly. But anyway, let's get right. Oh, actually, we should say, last time we left you on a cliffhanger, we didn't tell you what the spotlight was going to be because we didn't know because we wanted time to think about it. We had a little bit of a break since
Unless you follow our Twitter account.
Unless you follow us on our Twitter account.
You got a little sneak peek. At the Stagler Pod. Not the Stagler Pod. Our Twitter ad is just Stagler Pod.
Right, yes.
Very
or you
important.
can follow our individual personals right there. At MervillianYT and at _Nictionary. Just try your best with the spelling.
It's right there. You can read it.
If you're watching this, if you're listening to it in audio format or not paying attention to the screen, then try your best.
Well,
anyway, let's just get right into the weeks. Why don't we?
Many weeks.
The many weeks, even though I didn't do that much. I kind of was taking care of business, being with family, just kind of living my life,
Lame.
Yeah, I know. I hated it. I'm glad we're back, honestly.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, I read a bit of Dune. I don't really have much to say.
Finally.
I'm like 200 pages in, so that's like what? A fifth, kind of? A fifth, isn't it?
It's like it might be a fourth. I think it's like 840.
Literally, the last thing that happened is he almost got murdered by the hunter seeker.
Yeah, the thing that flies around.
That's basically. I'm a little bit past that, but that's the biggest last thing that's happened.
Nice.
Surprised by how much I'm enjoying it so far.
It's really good.
I really did not expect to be enjoying it as much as I have been.
Nice.
There's a lot of quotes. I've been writing down a lot of quotes from the book.
Oh, cool.
Like if wishes were fishes, we'd all cast nets. I thought that was kind of
good,
funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that was from Gurney or Gurney's mom. Maybe.
Love Gurney.
Gurney's great. They're all great. I like everybody. Having fun. I like Sting. He's great. From the David Lynch movie. Anyway, more on that as I continue. Just letting everyone know. Update. It's good. I recommend it. And it's not even my genre that I like.
Can you believe it?
So there you go. If that's not a recommendation, I don't know what is. Moving on. I watched. Oh wait, I totally got off track.
What?
We didn't tell them the spotlight.
Oh,
that's because we got interrupted. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oops.
That was probably really frustrating for someone to be like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, the spotlight that we're doing is a look back on 2020. Some of our favorites, movies or television from 2020.
The whole year.
There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to see just because that's how movies kind of work.
Yeah.
But we'll go over the ones
we did our best
that we did get, and we got like 8 or so that we can talk about today. And we'll see how we feel about spoilers if we don't want to get too far, just because they are so new. A lot of people might not have had opportunity seen it. So we'll kind of feel that out as we go. But first, I want to talk about a movie from 2020 called She Dies Tomorrow. And this movie was...
That's a spoiler.
It is a spoiler. Kind of. She Dies Tomorrow is a weird movie. It's kind of an arty movie about this woman who has this, I guess you could call it a disease, where she kind of wakes up and she's just stricken with this doom, this overwhelming dread that is, shown as like flashing lights and different colors. It's very interesting how they do it. And she's just utterly convinced that she's going to die tomorrow. She has a conversation like, "Oh, hey, Annie, how are you?" "I'm going to die tomorrow." They're like, "Okay." It is a drama, but it does have a lot of comedy aspects from, putting these very serious people in the middle of like a normal life. Like imagine someone just coming up to you and being like, "Hey, listen." Like they go to a party. This one woman goes to a party and she's like, "Guys, listen, I'm going to die tomorrow," and just kills the mood. It brings in some laughs occasionally.
Classic.
But it is mostly kind of just a weird, creepy movie. I can't say it was great. I know critics are like loving the movie. It's got like a really good one. User reviews are not so good. I'm kind of right smack dab in the middle of them.
You didn't like it too much.
I didn't like it too much. I just felt that I was waiting for one more kind of thing to happen the whole movie, and it never did. I was like, so when's the movie part gonna happen? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it felt like really good setup, and I was like, yeah, what's this like leading to? And I guess it's the point that it didn't really lead to much. It's kind of the point of the movie, and I get that, but that doesn't mean it's good. I always like to reiterate that idea, that just because you meant to do something doesn't make it a good thing that you've done.
I would have to agree with that statement.
Right, exactly. Still, I definitely think if you like kind of weird, off the beaten path flicks, it would be for you. Good performances, I'd have to say. Taking these people from their normal lives to being entranced by this light that turns them into these, husks of people just dreading their own demise that's coming in less than 24 hours, It's very interesting. Good dynamics. I don't know. The acting was good. It's just
the rest of it.
If it was a series, I could see them exploring it, like giving each character like an episode almost, something like that. It could have been a little bit more interesting. But, who knows? Soft recommend. A soft recommend. And that was kind of it for stuff that I did just myself. But we both kept up with Attack on Titan. Shingeki no Kyojin. Is that it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Arigato.
You got to say it like an anime person.
Which one?
Like Hinata, like anime girl.
Shingeki no Kyojin.
No, the arigato.
Arigato. Arigatoni.
Close.
Hinata, she's like,
yeah,
that's what she says.
So do that, but with arigato. Arigato. See, that was good. That was good.
Nice. That's the trick to sounding like a woman, is to just speak very quietly, and it'll make you sound like a woman. Anyway, Attack on Titan, episodes 3 and 4, I think would be the ones we're talking about, because they took a little break too.
They took a break. We didn't have an episode last week, which sucks.
Good for them. I'm watching,
but yeah,
oh my god, I'm so dumb. I just remembered I'm watching another thing that I'll talk about after this, because it's an anime.
No way, you're watching an
that.
Anime?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Anyway, Attack on Titan, we got. Tell me.
Episodes 3 and 4, a little bit on the slower side.
Yeah, still going.
But episode 3 mainly focused on Reiner backstory. More Reiner backstory, filling in the gaps of...
Sad man.
Tough life for Reiner. Yeah. My man, I hope he comes around. He'll be like a double redemption. Like he'll be like nice guy, bad guy, nice guy.
I'm not so sure of that.
We'll see though.
It could happen. Like a last ditch at the very last moment.
I would like it because I don't know. You can feel that the
scene that really sticks in my mind is when he's talking about basically. I want to say it was season 1. Like the recruits all standing in the line and Sasha eating the potato, and he brings it up and he's like, "These people are so evil. There was this one girl who had a potato." And she offered half to the commander, and it wasn't even close to actually half. They're a greedy people.
They're terrible. We need to exterminate them.
It's like you use the potato example to show how awful they are. And I was like, that's interesting. But they're definitely setting up that it could be possible that he might do a last minute save someone from being murdered, type
I hope
deal.
so. Like, he's done a lot of bad things, but
yeah.
You can tell that he feels bad.
Yes,
and he's
exactly.
not really on the Marley side.
And he's a little
got
troubled.
Problems. Yeah,
he's a little troubled.
He almost killed himself.
Exactly.
He was about to do it.
Yeah, he's very, very close. the whole setup being slow so far makes me think that either the next episode or
It is the next episode.
Next episode is going to be so explosively action packed to kind of not make up for it, but it would just make sense for it to be so slow for it to kind of all burst open in the next episode and be all out warfare and mayhem.
Yeah.
Because the very last thing we saw in the after credit scene of episode 4
Yes.
was Reiner being led by Falco to meet Falco didn't know this, but
Kruger at the moment.
Kruger was actually Eren.
It's Eren.
Eren Yeager. I assume. I don't know if he said Yeager, but they recognize each other.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
What if it's two people named Eren and it's just like a coincidence?
Definitely not,
Definitely
but
not.
that would be...
I knew that was Eren from I think everybody did when he
At the end of episode 3, when they show his eyes, I was like, oh, yeah,
I was like,
that's
those are Eren eyes, yeah. I don't get it if it is, like, because it is Eren. I'm kind of a little confused just because of the missing limb and everything.
He's camouflaging himself.
Right, but wouldn't his leg grow back?
So they can control it. Because remember, Reiner has his arm in the
That's
sling for
true.
like half of season 2. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And then he heals up.
I just wasn't thinking that of his. That makes sense.
Yeah, they can control.
Because now that he's obviously had a lot more time to train with his Titan powers,
he's on like 8 years or something. He's only got a few years left.
Armin also is a big one that everybody's excited to see.
Yeah, he hasn't been. No one's been in it yet. It's literally
no one's been in it, but
like,
only because he also has his Titan powers now, which
Right.
is who knows how he'll handle that.
he's gonna go nuts.
It'll be very interesting to see. I saw a meme where he bit himself and he turned into just a giant He-Man. It's very funny.
That's awesome.
Attack on Titan. I mean, we'll see with the next episode.
It's
That's what
tomorrow.
I'm saying.
It's literally tomorrow.
It's literally tomorrow.
And I don't know. From what I've been hearing on like the internet and stuff, is that the episode tomorrow is gonna be like nuts. That's what they say.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts.
All out warfare. I'm just expecting a lot of dead. I think maybe sides will be kind of drawn in the sand, you know. I'm expecting obviously characters to return, all the ones that we know and love. I'm expecting actually everybody to return next episode.
Yeah, it's got to be like a huge surprise attack.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like spread across the city and maybe all.
Everyone's got to be hiding somewhere.
Obviously, we have the Warhammer Titan, who is a kind of a unknown quantity right now. We haven't even seen it. We don't even know who it is.
Right? Yeah, it's just one of those people in the family.
We have people who think that the Tiber, is that his name?
Yeah.
Blonde dude, is actually in cahoots with Eren and stuff.
That's got to be it.
They're going to turn.
They got to be it.
Which would make a lot of sense.
I hope so.
Very exciting.
I hope that's what happens.
We have, what's his name? Agueno, I think was his name. There's a black person in the show now.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I think, I don't know if I mentioned that on the show, but I was like, it's weird that there's never been a
You did say that.
Yeah, so there we go.
Because we finally got to the other other nations.
Other nation, yeah. Exactly. So that's cool.
And Peak was on all fours because she
And
was
Peak.
like, this is how I like to walk.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she was a Titan for way too long.
I like her. I like them all. It is interesting making your enemy force still likable and having that conflict start up. Even though the only one that I really like is Falco. But
Falco's cool. Gabby's cute, but I think that she's like going to be absolutely diabolical.
Gabby's like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
And I like Peak.
See, the thing with Falco, though, is I'm afraid for him because I feel like he would make himself vulnerable to be, I don't know, to be like taken hostage or something, like because he's, you know, one of the people to take another Titan, you know, he's kind of a high profile person, even though he's just this kid. But I mean, even trusting Eren like he did, I feel like maybe he's not on a good track to have the best time in the next few episodes.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. All I know is I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Very excited for tomorrow. It'll be a great time. I watched another anime. I just got into it. It's called Higurashi New because it is the new version of an old anime that was called Higurashi. And it seems like they're going the Final Fantasy VII route for this anime remake, I should say. Would people know what I mean when I say that?
I don't.
Okay, good. Oh, not good. Well, it's spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Is that okay to say?
Oh no, it's only like the game came out forever ago.
The remake, it wasn't that forever ago.
Yeah, but it's a remake,
Anyway.
so there's already an existing...
Well, here's the thing. There's not, because there's new stuff, and it's like actually a continuation. It's not a remake. It's actually, this is a sequel. Haha, we fooled you.
That's what Final Fantasy VII is?
Yes.
Remake?
Yep.
Whoa.
Big spoilers.
What
Anyway.
the heck, man?
Just saying. It seems like that's what they're doing with Higurashi New, because they revealed something that apparently was very huge in like the second episode.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, okay. Because I had never watched the original.
Yeah.
The show is like a slice of life anime.
Nice.
With a dark twist. There's a dark secret, though. You know? So, well, you know, like, it's not good. It's based off of a video game, a visual novel. So it seems like the show is actually technically watching like different run-throughs of like, oh, this is one path you could take, and then it ends, and it time loops back to the beginning. Oh, this is what would have happened if you did this instead. And it's like a different storyline that all kind of ends the same way. And it seems like I'm waiting to see if one of the endings doesn't turn out so horrible. And that's going to be like the end of the show, where it's like, oh, look, awful stuff didn't happen. Good. But it is a very cute show.
Interesting.
I'm not really one for like cute anime things, but this one kind of won me over a little bit.
You're evolving. I'm so proud of you.
I guess. I don't know. But it's like weird because it's like, 12-year-olds or whatever. I think the youngest one's like 8 or something.
Okay.
But I like Reina. She's the redhead. She's cool.
Cool. Sounds interesting.
It is interesting. I am eager to see where it ends up, because, and it's running right now, same time Attack on Titan. It's like I'm getting a double feature.
It's a shame.
Attack on Titan and Higurashi.
It's a shame that any other anime has to release around the same time as Attack on Titan, because you already know that it's taking all the spotlight. You got plenty of time.
It's just an hour each Sunday that I get to take and just soak it all in. It's a good time. And they're surprisingly similar, and very not.
Yeah.
You haven't watched any of Attack on Titan, like middle school or whatever it's called, junior high?
What? The
Chibi Attack on Titan spin-off show?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Well, maybe you should check that out. Maybe it's good.
I don't think. Probably not.
Probably not good. Hey, maybe Riko's in it. Because I like Riko, but she's not a character. I thought she was. She's not. Makes me very sad. I liked her glasses. Anyway, one thing left that I did. A hard recommend. I super recommend Higurashi New. I've been having a great time.
And Attack on Titan.
Of course. I watched one more thing. 2020 movie, brand new, HBO Max. You know it. You love it. Wonder Woman 1984. Or should I say, Blunder Woman 1980 Snore.
Ooh, what a stinker.
This movie sucks. Wonder Woman, the original, was not very good. This one is worse.
Well, listen, I have a hot take, actually.
Okay.
I enjoyed this movie more than the first one.
Really? That's interesting.
Even though I literally think this movie is like really bad.
You mean you enjoy watching it more? I can agree with that. Okay. It's not a better movie, but it's a better watching experience.
Okay, yeah.
Pedro Pascal, Kristen Wiig.
Imagine if Pedro Pascal was not in the movie, though.
Oh.
It would be so bad.
Or Kristen Wiig. She's great, too.
They carry it so hard.
They carry it super hard. I think people, when the first Wonder Woman came out, people were talking about Gal Gadot, whatever.
It's Gadot, actually.
Gadot?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
They were like, oh, she's not like a great actress, is she? I think in the first movie, because she was in this brand new world, seeing all these things that she's never seen before, that her acting kind of lent a hand to that, because she's kind of unnatural a little bit.
Yeah.
But in this movie, where she's supposed to be like a normal human, seems to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Sad to say. At least maybe that's me. I think a lot of people think that she's very pretty, and that lets them overlook a lot of stuff, which is fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
She's gorgeous.
She's like top 10 in the universe.
All time.
Anyway, I didn't think she was that convincing for most of the film.
The movie's like not even about Wonder Woman.
No, there's a Wonder Woman scene right at the beginning at the mall, which didn't need to be in the movie at all. But I think they put it in there.
Don't forget, before that, there's the flashback.
The flashback where she's a little girl again, which doesn't need to be in the movie.
This movie's like 2 hours and 45
This movie's so long, and there's no reason for it. This movie is so ridiculously long. But I think they realized if they didn't add those two scenes together, which was probably what, like 20 minutes? No, maybe even longer than that altogether.
They couldn't call it Wonder Woman. It would have to be called The Mandalorian in 1984.
Right, exactly. Because if they cut those two first parts out where she's Wonder Womaning, it would have been like an hour before she even put on Wonder Woman gear in the real movie. Because it takes so long for her to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think she does it until they're in, like, Dubai or whatever they are.
Yeah, and there's like the chase.
In the chase.
sequence.
Like, that's the first time that she actually does anything Wonder Woman-y. And
Yeah.
it's like an hour into of this 3-hour saga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this fucking Lawrence of Arabia shit. Anyway, the story is
It's great.
she's living in 1984 now. The time has passed. Obviously, she doesn't age like a normal person. She is her job. She
works at the museum.
she's a museum lady,
Smithsonian.
but she's like a research. She's a big museum lady. Like they're important.
yeah,
She's not like Ben Stiller, levels.
she's not the security guard.
Yeah, but she could be though. Anyway,
True.
she does something that makes her an uncertain amount of money, and they get this rock, and they're like, "Wow, look at this rock!" And they're like, "What a stupid rock!" And then she's like, "I wish I could be as cool as you, Gal Gadot." And she's like, "That's sweet." And the rock grants wishes. We find out. So
OMG.
Kristen Wiig's character, who was like a nerd, takes
Yeah.
off her glasses, and now she's hot.
Yep.
and
Classic.
she loves cat print. That's a character trait of hers. That's why she turns into a cheetah later.
The cheetah.
Spoilers. We're spoiling. Well, who cares?
Everyone's seen it.
Everyone's seen this movie, right? So they get the rock, and then Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. What is her name? Diana.
Diana.
Yeah.
Oh. DMCA.
DMCA. That's so not Paul. Oh.
Oh, can't say that.
Can't say that
Oh,
either.
can't say that.
Oh no. Okay. Moving on. Oh, we're having fun today. She gets the rock, she holds it. She's like, I kind of wish my lover Chris Pine was back. Both their wishes come true.
OMG.
Chris Pine's back, and he's like, what is this wonderful world of 1984? And she's like, really, it's just the setting for this movie for this one montage, and that's the only reason it matters. And he's like, oh, cool. Let me try on these pants then.
Yep.
Because really, the movie did not need to be set in 1984. What part of it was like...
No, it's not even like, yo, look, it's the 80s, man.
They have the montage of him dressing weird,
Yeah.
and that's it. And then he's like, oh, look at this piece of art. She's like, that's a garbage can. Silly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's like, whoa, planes.
Chris Pine's good. I like Chris Pine.
I love Chris Pine. He's one of my favorite
Yeah.
actors.
He's
but,
cool.
I prefer him in like Hell or High Water to like Wonder Woman.
Star Trek.
And Star Trek.
Yeah. Anyway, comes back. Pedro Pascal's character, Lord Vicious, what's his name?
I don't know. He's like a dude, wannabe entrepreneur, and then he's like, I wish. This is the worst part of the movie.
Okay.
When he gets the stone finally.
Yeah, he seduces Kristen Wiig's character.
Yeah.
And he's like, give me your stones, baby.
Like Thanos, and he gets the stone.
Yeah.
And then he's like, instead of like wishing to be successful with his like entrepreneurship, whatever he wants to do, he's like, I wish to become the wishing stone.
Yeah.
And then he like becomes it, and he like makes people touch him and be like, wish for something.
People have to touch him to make a wish, and I think they don't even have to say I wish. He can give them a wish. He's like, don't you wish you had a 12-inch banana right now?
And they're like, yeah, I do.
It's like, yeah, I guess. I think one guy even goes, I guess, and it grants
He's like,
his
oh,
wish.
thank you. He's like, I'm so powerful.
So, no, seriously, like, it's so bizarre because he's like, don't you wish things could be better?
Oh yeah, man.
And just like that. And he freaks out. He starts bleeding all over the place like an anime protagonist. And the wish get granted, but it's a monkey's paw. Because every time you get a wish granted, it has to take something from you too. But now that he's the wishing stone, he can decide what he takes from you. And he can take anything from you, even like the will of other living creatures. He can change through someone's wish, which is very strange. Like, I don't like when he takes his guards. It's like,
dude, I don't know,
I don't
man.
get that. And so his plan is money. He wants money. He wants oil to be a big money man.
Notice how this doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make as much sense when you watch the movie either. He has a son that he loves.
Alistair!
Apparently.
Alistair!
Yeah.
He likes to scream that a lot.
He does. He says a lot. He wanders around and just kind of says it like John Travolta and just kind of goes around doing it. His plan is to get wishes from everybody because he's deteriorating from the wishes, so he needs people's life force. So for some reason, if you can explain this to me, please do. He needs to go on the special satellite TV because their particles beam down to the earth through the satellite, and he can go on every TV and he'll be touching everybody because the particles will be touching everything. Right? That's what they said?
Makes sense to me.
But yes, that makes sense to me. But what doesn't make sense is, by that logic, isn't he always touching everybody at all times?
Know.
Like, he's touching like atoms in the air, like, you know,
yes,
that's touching other people. So if it works that way, why does he have to touch anybody? Why does The Rock have to touch anybody at all? Why does Dwayne have to touch anybody? It really didn't make sense to me.
That's because it doesn't make sense.
We're skipping over all of the Allison? No, that wasn't her name. Kristen Wiig's character. She's just kind of being hot and getting hit on and beating up homeless people. Into the
Cheetah,
or not homeless people.
And then Wonder Woman and Cheetah have a fight that is up there with Venom and Carnage.
Yes. Oh,
it's just you have absolutely no idea what is happening the whole time.
They're just clawing, and the reason she turns into a cheetah is because she falls in love with Pedro Pascal, basically.
Apex predator.
And she wants to be an apex predator, like Mr. Shakedown, and that makes her a cat, I guess.
Yeah,
she likes cats.
She's like, electrocute me, and she's like, no.
Right, and she's like, don't make me do this, and she brings down like this massive power line into like a river, and it electrocutes both of them. But since she's like the daughter of Zeus or whatever, it doesn't really matter to Wonder Woman, so she's fine.
She's cool.
And
she's chilling.
But the cheetah lady is also fine. She just gets knocked out.
So she can be in the next movie.
So she can be in the next movie without powers and just be a little sidekick?
No, I don't know.
She could replace Chris Pine as the love interest.
And then...
Wait, hold on.
There we go. We got Cheetah out of the way.
Now we
get to the Mandalorian. He finds out through himself that he actually wants to be father.
Listen. Okay, no, you're going too far. So I actually enjoyed the last little segment of this movie. I was like, you know what? That's cute. I was like, I'll give you that movie. That's cute. He's doing the broadcast through the whole world, and he's saying, give me your wishes. Wish for anything, it'll happen. And people's wishes are being granted all over the world. So one of the things that happens is, like, the president's wishing for more nukes.
Oh, yeah.
And they get nukes. And so they're like, launch all the nukes at Russia or wherever. Yeah. And then Russia's launching all their nukes, and they wish for more nukes. So there's a bunch of nukes everywhere. The world's about to be completely decimated.
Of course.
She throws her lasso into the camera. I don't know where she throws it into, really. Onto him, and it gets through the camera because she's touching... I don't understand. And she's saying... She's talking to Pedro Pascal, you think. She's saying, you have to be the hero. You're the only one who can save the world. You have to renounce your wish like I did. Oh, she renounced her wish, and Chris Pine went bye-byes. Also, she gets the invisible jet.
And she can now lasso onto clouds.
And she can fly.
Kind of. I would say it's gliding. It's kind of like Buzz Lightyear, like falling with style.
Fine. I disagree, but okay.
I don't know if she's really flying.
But she can turn things invisible now, too, which I'm sure is a thing that happened. I don't know how she got her invisible jet normally, but she can do it now.
Invisible
jet.
I like that scene with the fireworks, anyway.
It reminded me of Tangled. Anyway.
Great.
She gets lasso. Only you can save the world. You have to renounce your wish. And Pedro Pascal is like, why would I want to renounce my wish? I'm literally the most powerful person ever. And she's like, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them. And you get a montage of all the people renouncing their wishes. You know, some people got good things happen to them, but they saw the bad. And so they renounce, like one guy killed his wife.
Yeah,
and he's like, I guess I wish that away, you know? And I was like, you know what? This is kind of a touching moment. And then they totally spit in the face of that touching moment by having Pedro Pascal's character being like, you know what? I do renounce my wish. You're right. I changed my mind. And it's like, that was a good moment you had that you could have just made him powerless and just like kicked him in the face a bunch. But instead he's like, no, I want to be a dad. I'm going to go find my son in the middle of
Yeah, he just like stands up. He's like, Alistair.
He just stands and runs and just finds him like under an overpass.
And then they hug, and it's super cute.
They hug, and they're definitely not going to be separated from each other for the rest of their lives because he's, a big criminal, man.
Yay.
Happy ending.
Movie's over.
Wonder
Woman 1980.
She can fly out. And also at the end, you find out that the crazy warrior woman who had the great armor that Gal Gadot used in the last fight is actually the original Wonder Woman actress from back in the day.
Right.
And she's a Wonder Woman too.
Awesome.
Which is, that's it is a cute little callback. She like stops like the pole or whatever from falling on a baby or something like that. And I thought it was actually a nice moment. I was like, you know what? For fans of the old Wonder Woman, that's probably like really, really sweet. I won't hold anything like that against them.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie, however, oh boy.
I have one more thing to say about this.
Yes, go for it.
One thing, it's a compliment.
Oh.
They really, really toned down the slow motion sequences, and I love it. Because in the first movie, I swear the whole entire movie's in slow-mo.
Yet somehow, this movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes
still
long.
Longer. That's all I have to say. But good on them for not using as much slow-mo.
Patty Jenkins,
really
good job.
Me.
Wonder Woman 3, I'm pretty sure, is already greenlit and being developed.
Let's go.
Maybe that one will be good.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a good movie.
Okay.
Like Santa Jaws.
All right. Sold.
Santa Jaws is an amazing Christmas movie. Okay. We got Jaws right there.
Yeah.
But this is Santa Jaws.
Okay.
So there's this kid, and he's writing a comic, a Santa Jaws comic.
Okay.
And he gets
the kid Gene Simmons' son?
No, this is like one of those like B movies you'd see on like the Sci-Fi Channel. Gotcha. Like you don't know who anybody is, but you're just like, okay, this is a great movie. If you like those like hilarious shark movies, this is a great one. And his grandpa for Christmas gets him like this special pen, and this pen has like ancient powers.
Nice.
And he draws Santa Jaws in his comic with the pen, and it makes Santa Jaws come to life, which is a big giant shark with a Santa hat on and like Christmas lights on it.
Nice.
And it like swims around, and every time it swings around, there's like jingle bells like playing.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh my God, I made Santa Jaws come to life." And he's like trying to tell everyone that Santa Jaws is alive, and they're like, "No, that's stupid." And then they like go out on the water, and then they die to Santa Jaws, and then everyone's like, Santa Jaws.
He's real. Why didn't I listen?
So it turns out that Santa Jaws can only be hurt by Christmas items.
Okay.
So like you could stab Santa Jaws in the face with a sword, or like drop a nuke on him, but he would just take it like a champ because it's not Christmas. But wrap the nuke in like present and like wrapping paper, easy.
Since you said nuke again, it reminded me of a point of Wonder Woman that I would get to.
Okay.
So they wish for more nukes, but they renounced their wish, the nukes disappear. They wish for more nukes, but they still had nukes, and they launched all of their nukes. So wouldn't the nukes that were there before still launch and explode all over the planet? It's like they didn't have zero nukes. So why did all the nukes disappear if they launched all of their nukes?
I don't know how that works.
Anyway, Santa Jaws.
Santa Jaws. So they end up wrapping all these weapons in like Christmas stuff, and they have like candy cane swords and stuff. It's really stupid.
That's what I was thinking of, candy cane sword.
But then they go to stab Santa Jaws with one of the candy cane swords.
Yeah.
But Santa Jaws takes it and turns it into his own power, and now he has this like humongous like narwhal spear on his head that's a big candy cane.
Santa Jaws.
And
who voices Santa Jaws?
Probably what's his face? The dude that does Planet of the Apes. What is his name?
James Franco.
Yes, James Franco. I feel bad I can't think of his name. And he does Gollum.
Andy Serkis.
Yep. Yeah. Andy Serkis is Santa Jaws.
Nice.
And then obviously there's a hilarious moment where somebody gets impaled by Santa Jaws.
Okay. Are there any Jewish people in this movie? Like, would a menorah be effective against Santa Jaws?
Probably not, I would think. I think it has to be Christmas.
Okay. What about like a cross? Is that Christmassy enough, or it has to be?
I don't know. See, these are the kinds of things.
Santa Jaws 2.
Santa Jaws 2 coming soon. And then
to a streaming service
blow up Santa Jaws
with a Christmas grenade.
With ornaments.
Oh, ornament grenades.
They blow up.
Nice. I like that.
Great movie.
Yeah, I can tell.
10 out of 10. Santa Jaws rocks.
I dig it.
I also watched Ingrid Goes West.
I've been meaning to watch this movie for a long time since it came out, which was 2017 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
hey.
Directed by Matt Spicer.
Yeah,
and it's got Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah,
2 great actresses. I liked it. I thought it was very good, actually.
Good.
It's basically about Elizabeth Olsen plays like this Instagram influencer that lives in LA, and Aubrey Plaza plays like this
a simp.
Plays this. You can't say that! Oh my gosh!
No.
Twitch, please don't ban us.
Sorry.
Please, I'm so sorry. We can't.
Okay, moving on. Nothing happened. I'll edit it out. It's okay. It's totally cool. I'll just delete the bot immediately. Let's go.
And she's like goes crazy and like copies everything she does and tries to become best friends with her.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't seen it, so I don't want to spoil what transpires.
No.
But it's very good. Aubrey Plaza, I've never really seen her in anything other than like Parks and Rec. She's actually a really good actress.
She is.
I thought she was very good in this, and I know that Elizabeth Olsen is great, and she's great in this also. Yes. And it's in like the comedy drama category. It is funny at times, but I wouldn't call it a comedy.
Okay.
But it is funny at times. Like I did laugh.
So
quite
a lighthearted drama, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like more of that sense. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad that it wasn't bad.
Yeah. No, I thought it was pretty great. And then I also watched Mean Streets, directed by Martin Scorsese, who's like this really like indie director.
Yeah, he's pretty underground.
So you know.
Yeah.
It stars Robert De Niro and Harvey Keitel.
Never heard of him.
Me neither. This movie has like really great critic reviews and like kind of not like in the middle user, but like a little higher, but like not like super high like the critics.
Slightly above average then.
Yeah, it's in like the high 7s, I think.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with the users. I don't know. I thought it was good, but I didn't.
So does the title mean angry streets, or does it mean like the relative like mean, like the mathematical mean of the streets, like the most average street?
The second one.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know, just like compared to other Martin Scorsese films, it's like, at least to me, I was like, really? Like, it has like a 96 or something like meta score, and I was like, whoa, that's really high, especially when like Goodfellas exists and Casino.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa. But I mean, it's still really good. Like, you can tell like there's great performances from Robert De Niro, who's like a little tiny baby in this movie.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And it has great script, like sizzling dialogue, and like the movie's like so kinetic with like the camera movement and everyone's performances and just like all the talking and stuff. And I was just kind of like, I was really interested the whole time and very entertained. And then it kind of like blows up at the end for like a few minutes, and then it just like ends, and you're like, whoa, dang, the streets are mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know, it just didn't have like the same like pizzazz that like the other great Scorsese films have, in my opinion, like The Departed and The Irishman and Casino and Goodfellas or whatever. But it was still pretty good. I don't want to say it's overrated, but I just don't agree with other people who are like, this is Martin Scorsese's best movie.
Gotcha. Interesting. I'd have to watch it. That sounds very interesting to me. What I think of it.
I would like to know too, but I did like it. I thought it was good.
Right.
And then a few more things. Obviously, The Expanse had some more episodes. Three more episodes.
Nice.
And let me tell you, season 5 is rolling. And in episode 4, without a doubt, was the best episode of the entire series.
Whoa.
To date. It was wowzers. Amazing.
Well, you said before that's what people say about the books, basically.
Yeah, they said that like the 5th book is like the best book.
Yeah.
And so far, the season is reflecting that.
Nice.
Episode 4 was like knock your socks off, crazy, like just like the scope and the scale of
what
people
happens. Agree? Do the people agree?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
People are loving it. Just like the scope and the scale of what happens. No spoilers here. But it's just so like beyond anything that you could think of.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. And like the utter devastation is like unmatched. And it's going to play out for the rest of this season. I mean, it's going to have ripple effects for like the whole rest of the series. It is nuts. And our big bad, Marco Inaros. Don't know the actor's name, but he's doing really great job. He's like kind of like a quiet, scary. Like he's a real contained man for the most part, but like you can like tell you're like presence. You're like, oh, yeah. I don't want to mess with this guy. But then he makes this like huge speech, and you're like, oh man, maybe he is right. And then I was like, wait, what am I talking about? He's done horrible things.
Yeah.
But he's like really convincing in that way. And these last 4 episodes are gonna be nuts, and I'm really excited. And I hope that everyone can come back together because everyone's kind of having their own separate storylines right now. But I'm hoping that everyone can at least combine before the end
of the season.
Especially Amos, because I love him.
Amos.
Yeah.
He was my favorite. What I can only think of the Starving Games, the Hunger Games character. Amos. He would drink a lot, and he would taught her to.
Haymitch.
Oh, with Haymitch. Okay, never mind. Forget what I say.
Classic. And then I also watched an anime. It's crazy.
Nice.
Started a new anime called Jujutsu Kaisen.
I've heard of it.
It's new. It's like really new.
Yeah.
It only has like 12 or 13 episodes. It's like about this dude who there's like these things like curses, which is like the culmination of like everyone's like sadness and despair.
Okay.
And they just kind of like create. It's like they have a good visualization where like, you know, when you feel like you have like a weight on your shoulder.
No.
Well, in the show.
Well, when I have a weight on my shoulder, I feel that. Like literally.
Yeah, I understand. But in the figurative sense.
I've never experienced something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm very, very happy for you.
I just felt it.
But like, they'll actually have like a little like cursed creature. Like,
sure, like them. Soul.
I guess.
Sort of.
Anyway. But anyway, our main dude, I think its name is Itadori. He eats one of the 20 fingers of Big Bad Demon Man. Can't think of his name.
Wow, Beelzebub.
No, but he's like the strongest demon ever.
Mephistopheles.
And I don't remember his name. I can't. It's hard to remember names in animes unless you've seen them many episodes and you can actually remember them. Anyway, he eats a finger and he becomes like really powerful by this one finger, and then the dudes are like. The like jutsu dudes are like, yo, we need you to help us get all these fingers, and you can like eat them because like you shouldn't be able to eat them. He's like super powerful. He's like, because like if a normal person would eat them, they would just like die.
Yeah.
So he's like really special. So they gotta like find all the fingers or whatever, and find all these curses and find all these bad guys, whatever. It's really good. I very much enjoyed it. It is animated by MAPPA, which is the same studio that is doing the final season of Attack on Titan.
Nice.
So they are really killing it right now. I'm very happy for them.
Good for them. I hope they are working fair hours for a fair wage.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah.
I hope they're getting paid well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we together kind of
played
the new Spider-Man Miles Morales video game.
Mm-hmm. We did that.
What'd you think?
It was okay. It was pretty good. You know?
Yeah, I would agree. It was okay. As far as the story goes.
Yeah. The gameplay was definitely...
I mean, the gameplay's awesome.
It was Spider-Man, but with that extra little thing that I think a lot of people, when they played the original Spider-Man game, wanted. I feel like a lot of people complained that the combat was just like, there was just missing one thing.
Punch, web.
And I think Miles Morales found that one thing to add to really give it that extra oomph. Yeah. Which I'm wondering if, and that's his Venom powers / camouflage powers.
Yeah.
That is unique to Miles. And I'm wondering if they would try to incorporate some extra oomph to Peter's arsenal in a Spider-Man 2, just to give his combat that kind of extra edge that Miles had, or keep it a Miles specific thing. Like Miles is a combat dude and Peter's more of a...
I'm hoping that maybe like they could work together and like they could create like a new gadget for Peter that has like Venom infused in it or something.
If Peter's thing was gadget based powers that worked the same way as his Venom things did, along with his regular gadgets.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a very good compromise. I've always thought that anything Peter does should have been just web-based, so he'd have more web-based things that were a little more free-form than the gadgets alone, so I've always thought of along those lines, kind of. But we'll see what they do. The story. Okay. We knew the villain. The villain opens a door, and we were both like, that's the bad guy.
Yeah, literally, like, on the screen for, like, a half of a second. We're like, yep,
we didn't even know the name, and we were like, yep, that's
we didn't know what villain was going to be in the game. We were just like, it's that one.
Yeah.
We were right.
It gets revealed, like, I don't know, 30 minutes after the fact, so it's not something that they hide for too long, because it just is so obvious. When you have such a short game, because it's probably about...
It's like 10 missions, maybe.
Yeah, it's short, like a little over half of the original Spider-Man probably is this game. But it's all Spider-Man. There's no like stealth missions or anything. It's all just Miles Morales doing his thing. Story's it's a little weak.
Yeah, it's not super great, but
the Tinkerer's not that interesting of a villain to me.
No.
I mean, the Tinkerer, like the idea behind it is, but just how they did it in this one, it almost felt a little bit, and this kind of disappoints me, I'll be honest, even though I love Insomniac and I love Spider-Man. It kind of felt like they were almost trying to get Miles' origin out of the way in this game to have room for him in Spider-Man 2. How I feel about this game will ultimately be decided by how I feel about Spider-Man 2, and specifically how Miles plays into Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Because if his part in that game is like phenomenal, wow, I love it. He's such a great character in this game. His arc in it is so good. Then Miles Morales will be a good game to me. But if he's like wasted in Spider-Man 2, then I'll be like, wow, they really kind of did him dirty in his own game, because it's just kind of rushed. It just feels fast because it's a short game, Did you feel like he grew as a hero in the game? Because that was kind of the point. It was him kind of growing into the actual Spider-Man title. Do you feel like it accomplished that?
Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely takes more of the hero of, Harlem's like where he lives.
His hometown.
But I feel like he incorporates, he becomes another hero of the city. The people recognize him. And
he's got like 14 million followers on Spidey feed.
He's got a lot of followers, and they have that Twitter feed, and we kept checking it, and it would update after like every side mission, like every time it would update, and we were just like, someone got paid to sit here and write all of these weird, like there was someone who's going like, oh, Spidey, ooh woo, and I was like, someone got paid like $20 to write that.
Yeah, whoever wrote all those is great. They were very funny and entertaining.
They were good. Don't skip those. There's some good ones in there.
There's a lot of good ones.
But yeah, I don't know.
It was good. And it's the same setting.
How do you feel about different face Peter? He's only in it for a little bit, but
I liked it. I think he looks a lot better.
Yeah, the original Peter didn't always look bad, but there's some points where he looked a little like corpsey.
Yeah.
And that kind of get away. He does look really young. But I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. I'll say that much.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'll have the platinum done in like 2 more sessions of playing the game.
Sweet. Good job.
Platinum's really easy. So, that's not like I'm amazing.
So, if you're an achievement hunter, check it out. People probably still do that.
I do that, so.
Yeah, but you don't like go out and buy games specifically because the platinum's easy. I knew a person like that. Where he was
really?
Like, the platinum, like the Telltale games, he would play every single one because all you had to do was beat him. And he'd be like, I just got like 7 free platinums because of these stupid Telltale games that I hate. I'm like, okay, buddy. Why don't you spend your money on these things?
I just get platinums that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's fair.
That's it. We did it.
That's it. We did it for the weeks. So we're going to get into news right away.
Okay.
Roger Deakins, cinematographer.
We love
legend.
him here. We love him.
He's knighted. He's a Sir Roger Deakins now. For New Year's, he got knighted. That's it.
That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty cool. I'll never be knighted.
Sir Roger Deakins.
Sir Roger Deakins.
I love it.
Master of None reportedly returning for season 3 at Netflix after hiatus. Master of None is a critically acclaimed comedy series from Aziz Ansari. And did you watch the show?
No.
I did, and I really, really liked the show.
Nice.
It had a very relaxed but funny. It was a show that if you needed to unwind, I felt like it was a really good show to unwind because it was funny, but it wasn't like Always Sunny funny, where it's very high tension. Like the situation is always really high strung and people are freaking out. Funny. This one is just everyone's kind of relaxed, soft observational comedy kind of going on. Very chill show. I liked it a lot. I'm very glad that it's going to come back. I'm very happy with this. This was very good news for me.
Nice.
Moving on. Universal putting classic monster movies, including Dracula and Frankenstein, up for free on YouTube.
Cool.
Streaming. So they're actually streaming it at certain points. They're doing Dracula, The Mummy, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's interesting. And we'll be playing those if you want to check those out.
Cool.
Some classic monster movies. That's cool. Moving on. Barry.
Love Barry.
Season 3 delay has allowed Season 4 scripts to be finished ahead of schedule.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
So I'm thinking maybe
they
could shoot Season 3 and Season 4 like
back to back.
And
Interesting.
then just, release some, like have Season 3 and then have like a little wait, and then Season 4 instead of like, like the 3 years it's been since Season 2.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I mean, it's not their fault.
We'll see. That sounds like good news to me.
Great news. I love Barry.
The Croods.
Yes, this is great news. Great news.
Tell the world.
The Croods, the second one. I haven't seen it yet, but
have you seen the first?
Have you not?
No.
You haven't seen The Croods? Great movie.
Okay.
The Croods: A New Age has surpassed, or didn't surpass, but on the weekend that The Croods opened, it smoked Tenet on VOD streaming.
Yeah.
Smoked it.
It really destroyed it. And,
so, I just think that's funny.
It's just kind of funny because Tenet was this whole film Twitter back in the good old days. Was like, Tenet, guys.
They were like, Tenet, it's Christopher Nolan's new movie, guys.
Tenet.
It's the same forwards and backwards.
And if you would have told me back then that The Croods: A New Age would have been more successful, probably would have believed you.
It's just amazing. Amazing.
Other good news.
This is great news.
Alex Garland.
Love him.
You're his biggest fan. And A24 reuniting after...
I think I am his biggest fan.
Wow. Okay.
Sure. I mean, I preached about devs to the high heavens.
Yeah.
Ex Machina is in like my top 10 all time.
Yes.
I love Annihilation. Great movie. And that's all he's done.
Didn't he help write 27 Days Later or something?
Yeah, but I mean like as a director.
Sure. Yeah. But you like Days Later, right? You don't like Weeks Later. He didn't write
Right, yeah,
one.
the Weeks Later. No, Weeks Later is fantastic. So great. Yeah.
Well, Alex Garland and A24 reuniting after Ex Machina for new film. Jesse Buckley eyed to star.
Yes. Great. Sign me up.
So he did Annihilation, then he did Devs. Now he's coming back to this. We have really no details. It'll
be sci-fi. I can bet you that.
Sci-fi, and it's titled Men, and that's about it.
Men.
I don't know if it's titled that for good or if that's a working title. But we don't know a lot about sci-fi movie called Men. So what do you think? What are you thinking? Sci-fi movie called Men.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh. Oh man. Oh, okay. A sci-fi movie called Men. It's gotta be like far future.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
far future.
Far future, post-apocalyptic.
There's one woman left, and it's Jessie Buckley.
I disagree.
So it's like The Handmaid's Tale.
I think it's all androids, and they're scouring through this humanity past, and they're trying to find out who men were. They're like, what is man? And they're like, man is what created us.
What?
And they travel through, like, they go through a abandoned New York, and there's like some big mystery, and then they find the last remaining human. They're like, we have to rebuild humanity or whatever. We destroy them, and the good androids are like, we'll bring them back.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be. Interesting.
Off the top of my head, who knows?
Men. I love it. Alex Garland, let's go. Bring it on, baby.
All right, here's an interesting one. Golden Globes under fire for shutting Minari out of Best Picture. Instead of Best Picture, it will be Best Foreign Language Film
Stupid
nominee, even though it takes place in America because they mostly speak Korean in the film. They're like, oh well, it's all Korean, so it can't be an American movie because Koreans aren't American.
I've never seen the movie
except for Korean Americans, like Steven Yeun.
Like Steven Yeun. I mean, it's made by Americans. It's
about Americans.
It's set in America. It's literally about the American dream.
Exactly. It's like the most American movie.
I just don't understand this.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And to say that America... Okay, obviously English is the predominant language in America, but obviously Korean's not too high on the list. But a lot of people would say Spanish is also like a very acceptable language to speak in America.
Yeah.
You won't get nearly as far as you will with English, but you'll get pretty far. I feel like most places, if you went speaking Spanish, you'd find somebody who'd be like, oh yeah, I can help you out.
Hola. We're doing the rest of this podcast en español.
Hola.
Sí.
Minari. Bueno.
Sí.
I can't do this.
Entonces.
Anyway, I really want to see this movie.
I know.
Ever since
I saw the first trailer, I was like, let's go.
Really looking forward to it. I had my chance, but I had to have bought tickets like 2 months ago, and I just wasn't paying attention. So, yeah.
We'll get to it.
I don't know. We're going to see. Oh. Daniel Day Kim on Twitter tweeted, the film equivalent of being told to go back to your country when that country is actually America.
Oh, boy.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Sucks. Go watch Minari when you can.
Yes. I heard it's good.
Roku acquires Quibi's content. We spoke about this before.
Amazing.
We spoke about how we hoped that Quibi's stuff would go somewhere and not just be deleted.
Here we go.
Here we go. Roku picking up the slack. Quibi is dead, but its shows will, in fact, live on. It reached a deal for the exclusive distribution rights of all of Quibi's programs. Financial terms of the acquisition were not disclosed, but rumored to be significantly less than $100 million. So
it's bad.
It's real bad. They have like what 70 shows on Quibi that they had, and man,
who cares?
Who cares? But Roku
Quibi was a terrible idea.
I don't know how to watch. You need a Roku to watch Roku.
That would make sense, right?
I think I know someone with a Roku.
I have a Fire Stick, so.
I have a TV.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on. Filming has wrapped on Sony's Resident Evil horror movie reboot.
Nice.
They made the announcement not too long ago, and it's going to have Claire, it's going to have Jill, it's going to have Chris, it's going to have Wesker, and Leon. Everyone's in this. And Birkin. Wow, okay, everybody's in this movie.
Nice.
Interesting. New potential franchise. The first film series ended up being a franchise, so maybe this will be a franchise as well for them. Who knows? We'll see, but I'm interested. I love Resident Evil.
I know you do.
It's so stupid. I hope people don't realize how stupid Resident Evil is. It's stupid.
I think your Resident Evil is like my Fast and Furious.
Probably. No, that's totally accurate. Do you love the Fast and Furious games, though?
I can't say I've ever played them.
They had the new one that just came out like last
Crossroads.
year. And it looked like a game on the PS3.
Didn't it? Isn't that awesome?
And apparently it was really good.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. Anyway, that's cool. Speaking of Sony Pictures is apparently developing 3 movies and 7 TV shows based on PlayStation games.
Okay.
So
I'm semi-interested.
Not just Uncharted. And I'm guessing Resident Evil doesn't fall into this because it's not a Sony thing. But 3, we have no details whatsoever. But they just said, 3 movies, 7 TV shows.
Give me the Horizon Zero Dawn miniseries.
Miniseries? That's what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a 10-episode miniseries.
Who's
playing Aloy?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
No. She's not old enough.
Is she not?
I feel like the person that needs to play Aloy needs to be like in their 30s.
In their 30s. Okay. Well, that's too much information for me to make an adequate guess.
They need to have like a this kind of face.
Jessica Chastain. Maybe.
See it?
I don't know. Some kind of action.
I don't know.
Mila Jovovich.
Who played? Is Aloy made with facial whatever?
That would have been that very famous voice actor who's been in a lot of stuff.
Right, she plays Abby in The Last of Us 2.
No, she does not.
Yes.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. That is not. No.
Are you sure Abby in The Last of Us 2 is not Aloy?
No, because Aloy is Ashley Birch, I just remembered, and Abby is Laura something. Abby's Laura or Lauren something. I'm so convinced of this.
Hold on.
Aloy is Ashley Birch, but I don't think they would do Ashley Birch, but maybe they would. I don't know.
Hold on.
Good for her.
Here we go. Type
Okay.
Horizon.
Just
Zero Dawn.
Aloy voice actor.
Well, no, because I got to figure out what else she's in. Yes, It's
Okay.
Ashley Birch.
And the Abby is
Right,
Laura,
she plays
the pregnant friend.
the pregnant
Mel.
friend in
Yes,
The Last of Us 2.
Exactly.
And then she also plays Sasha in Attack on Titan.
Right.
I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, in the dub, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. No, she looks nothing like Aloy. So definitely
No, she
they
does
didn't
not.
do facial whatever.
Yeah.
Unless they did it with a different person. I don't know how that works.
We got asked this question before about like what video games would you do for shows, and now I'm thinking of what Sony only things, and I'm really kind of drawing a blank on like Sony properties that
3 movies and 7 TV shows.
Bloodborne
Does The Last of Us
movie.
count?
the HBO show.
Does that count?
I
Because
don't
that's
know.
Sony.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine it would.
Okay, we'll say that. Boom. Horizon
Okay.
Zero Dawn. TV show? Boom. I'm putting it in the TV show second. We got 5 more TV shows
Okay.
and 3 movies.
You could do like a long time ago they were gonna do a Sly Cooper TV show. They were gonna do a movie, and then it turned into a TV show, and then we haven't heard for a long time.
Boom. Sly Cooper.
Be an animated
Ratchet and
TV
Clank.
show.
Second one.
They did another movie. Sure, I
Boom.
mean it didn't do very well at all, but okay.
Make another one.
Sony only things. Bloodborne movie. I said that.
God of War. Boom.
TV show
TV
or
show.
movie?
Definitely TV show.
TV show.
Facts.
What would it be about?
Kratos?
Okay, good. But what pantheon would he kill?
I don't know. Whatever they're feeling.
The games have already done, like, there's like 7 games that were like in the Greek pantheon, so I think that might be done. And then maybe they'd say like, oh, in between God of War 3 and God of War PS4, he actually went and killed like all the Egyptians. And that's what this TV show is.
That'd be sick.
That could work. I don't know. We'll see. Crash Bandicoot kids show. I could see that being. He was in Skylanders. That was like a cartoon show. They could give him his own thing. There's not a ton of characters to work off for that. I mean, there are, but there's like 4 people that get along.
Interesting.
I don't know.
know.
Still very cool. I hope this is real because I love watching them attempt video game adaptations. They're always so interesting to me, even when they're bad.
They're always bad.
They're just, yeah.
We talked about this.
We did. We have a whole episode dedicated to it, but they're always interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
DC films, future DC films, 2 Batman stories,
Oy.
6 movies per year,
What?
split between
What?
theaters and HBO Max. Now, not 6 Batman movies per year,
But 6, that's
but
like
still
still
6 movies.
Marvel did like maybe 2 max.
They want to have 4 tentpole, like think Aquaman, Wonder Woman, blah, 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 movies in theaters a year starting 2022, alongside 2 smaller, I don't know if I want to say indie, but smaller films that go straight to HBO Max.
This is a terrible idea.
Starting 2022. And there's going to be 2 timelines. There's going to be Earth 1 and there's going to be Earth 2.
Wow.
And The Flash is going to connect Earth 1 and Earth 2 in a movie where Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are both there and they're both Batmen in a movie.
It couldn't get any worse for DC. It really couldn't. This doesn't make any sense. They couldn't make it more confusing.
Basically, everything that they're making right now, they want to make a spin-off for HBO Max.
That's so whatever.
They've got the
Most
Suicide
people know my
Squad coming
feelings.
again.
Yeah,
They've got
great.
all these things.
The only thing I'm looking forward to is the Robert Pattinson, the Batman movie.
Yeah,
That's
so Wonder Woman's going to be Earth 1, and the Batman is going to be Earth 2.
Oh my!
So the Robert Pattinson will not meet Gal Gadot unless Ezra Miller makes him with his Speed Force.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. This sounds great. I can't wait to see all these movies just do so well.
Yes, that is a movie every other month.
I hate it.
I have trouble doing a superhero movie a year.
Yes. It's been nice not
especially
having them,
if they're
actually.
2
Wonder
hours
Woman, like, especially with Wonder
minutes.
Woman. Yeah.
Like, stop.
Okay, whatever. Continue. I'm angry.
Continue, yeah. Well, more sad news. Sad news, sad time.
Sad news.
Family Video closing all 250 remaining stores.
Oh, really?
Family Video is
all
dead.
Of them?
They're gone. Apparently, familyvideo.com is still going to stay up. I don't know what that means.
For the record, that used to be my previous place of employment.
Yeah.
Worked at Family Video.
That was a good place to work?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was fun being around movies and stuff.
Yeah.
It was weird selling porn to old men.
That would be a little weird.
But, like...
Was it always old men? Did you get anybody interesting?
It was usually old men.
Like how old?
Anywhere from, like, 50 to, like, 90.
So old men, okay.
But
90, geez.
I worked at... I worked at 2 Family Videos. The first one closed, and then I just moved to another one.
Yeah.
So when that first one was closing, we were like obviously selling all of the movies.
Yes.
And this one dude came in, and I saw him go to the back room. And I was like,
okay. Oh gosh.
And he was in there for a very long time, and he came out, and he was like this, just carrying all not
like
all
from
of
his
them.
waist to above his head, just carrying a whole stack of DVDs.
Everything. And he came in and he just set them on the table.
What flavor? Were there different flavors? Was it all the same kind of like genre?
He had it all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He had it all. And it's just like, he just walks up and he's like, hi. And I'm just like, I have to.
How'd you fit it in the brown bag?
It was multiple bags.
Okay. You have a special super long brown bag just for this situation that you just...
It's just weird though, because like I have to open all the cases and like take the pin out or whatever,
yeah.
And like just trying to have a conversation with a dude while I'm looking at like.
I've never seen one of those DVDs. Do they get creative with like the hole where the DVD goes? Because I can imagine like a ton of fun things you could do.
There was only one I ever remember where it was like a butt, and like obviously,
right? Exactly. That's what I would do if I made those DVDs. That's like perfect. Or you put the guy there and you put your pinky through.
Yeah. But
anything like that.
So that was interesting. But that's sad that all the Family Videos are closed.
They're saying that, it's the Rona really was the final nail in the coffin of something that was already going downhill generally. You see it with a lot of brick and mortar stuff about that deal with things like video games or movies that now a lot of people just handle digitally and don't even bother with physical copies. But yeah, that is sad. It's first started in 1978 as a video movie club, and it outlived Blockbuster. Well, there is one Blockbuster left.
Yeah, but it's like a museum basically.
Yeah. Hollywood Video, it outlived that. Remember that? We have a Hollywood video in that cabinet over there.
Nice.
Original stolen rental. Anyway, sad. Family Video, you will be missed. It was.
I'll have to make a visit.
I think I went to Blockbuster until I was like, I don't know, 8 maybe. And then all the way from 8 to...
It's always been Family Video.
It's always been Family Video. So most of my memories are good old Family Video memories. Maybe I'll buy a shirt. They have shirts for sale. They have merch. They're like, we're dying, but buy our merch.
I might do that too.
I know.
And it will forever be engraved in Stranger Things.
I
hate it.
Anyway, good news. Depending on...
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about good news. Women directed 16% of 2020 film study finds, up from 12% in 2019.
So here's the analysis.
Okay.
We went up from last year.
Yes.
Good. Yay, we went up.
Okay.
16%. Not good.
Too much.
We should shoot for 50-50.
Yeah. Or whatever the actual disparity is in the filmmaking business. I don't know what it would be. But 16%, we're getting there,
16%. I mean, it's good that we went up, but we need to go up more.
It was 4% in 2018. So
whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of a big jump. So I mean, next year we're shooting for like 25%.
I'd be happy with like 40. 40 is the best you can give me.
Next year?
No, and at all.
Why can't we have 50?
I said I would be happy with 40.
Okay.
Like, I would settle. If they said 40 is all we... If Mr. Hollywood himself was like 40%, that's the best I can do, people just aren't buying.
But
we
don't want Wonder Woman 1984 Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins, listen.
We want the Hurt Locker.
Patty Jenkins, you think you know so much just because you're a successful, very rich Hollywood director. Well, listen up. I have a podcast, and I am a white man. So I'm
just kidding. Make whatever you want. I'll just hate on it.
Honestly, with Patty Jenkins, I don't know how much to put on the director, him or herself, because I'm guessing there is a lot of studio stuff where it's like, you kind of have to hit these points, Patty.
Yeah, I know. They try their best.
I'm guessing that they can't go too crazy with their movie things. I mean, the craziest one we saw was Joker. I mean, that was really successful, even if I don't think it was that great. But, you know, who knows?
What do you mean you didn't think it was that great?
I think in Wonder Woman 3, she should kill a human and, like, she should shoot someone on a talk show.
You get what you deserve.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see Wonder Woman murder somebody.
That would be crazy.
That'd be crazy and not very Wonder Woman-y.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Is that it for the news?
Yeah, we did it. We're through the news. Good. Wow. Well done, us.
Wow.
So we're moving on to the spotlight. Spotlight time. And we're talking about 2020 movies just because.
Toony.
Because we can. That's what we're doing.
We can do it.
Why don't we talk about one that we both watched and both wanted to talk about first? Is that agreeable to you?
Suppose.
Okay. I mean, what was that? What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Rarely.
What?
What?
I'm talking about The Sound of Metal.
Oh, I thought you wanted to do the other one.
No, frick that. Sound of Metal first.
What? Okay.
Well, we'll talk about it, but just not right now.
What? Oh.
Dead tree. I don't know sign language. I'm so sorry.
Neither do I, yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're deaf, how?
Send us an email at thestaglerpod@gmail. Let us know how you're listening.
Anyway.
If you got the implants that Riz Ahmed
that cochlear, yeah. So this movie is about a metal drummer, which they kind of oversell.
He's metal?
Yeah, he's a cyborg. He's a heavy metal drummer, which is really kind of, they sell it a lot in the like description. So I thought the metal music was going to have a lot more to do with the movie. It's not a big deal at all.
It's like right at the beginning.
It's like there's like 3 minutes of a song maybe, and that's it. And so he's a big metal drummer. He's right there. He's got all the music. He loses his hearing. And it's basically, the movie's him coming to terms with that. Coming to terms with just losing his hearing and joining a deaf community, and living, just learning how to live again. And Riz Ahmed had fantastic performance from him.
Incredible.
I thought it was like really good.
Yeah, really good.
He got me
one of the best of the year.
I don't feel like this is unique to me. I feel like everybody does this, but I'm going to put myself out there, make myself vulnerable just to see if it's true. Am I the only person that fantasizes about what would happen if I like lost one of my senses? That can't just be me.
Dude, you're a fucking weirdo. No, just kidding, of course.
Oftentimes, I was like, what if I was blind and I just try to live my life for like 10 minutes, just having my eyes
you just close
completely
your eyes.
Closed. Just like, this is not very fun. Or deaf, it's not really as easy to know. I have had hearing loss before, temporarily, and it's weird. It's very, very strange. Not complete loss, but like maybe 50% loss,
I could give headphone users hearing loss right now.
Please do not do that, because I'm wearing headphones.
Me too. We all suffer.
We all suffer together. But so seeing this journey of Ruben, the main character, becoming a deaf person and losing his hearing basically completely. It's gradual, and then eventually it's might as well be all of it, and learning sign language himself. And, he's this kind of, I guess you would say, punk character. He's a heavy metal drummer, and being sat down in this class of 6-year-olds teaching themselves ASL because he needs to learn it. it was very affecting. I got choked up a few times when, you know, he'd get frustrated or he was just trying to get what he wanted. He wanted to get his old life back. He ends up getting the cochlear implants. And in the deaf community, and this is true from what I know, deaf isn't like a disability, you know. Deaf is a community. It's a group of people, you know. They don't having it be looked at as a disability. It's very understandable, I think.
Yeah, of course.
So when he gets those cochlear implants, you know, it kind of ostracizes him from the group, and he has to leave.
Yep.
Which is
that was a good scene. That actor, the man.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but he was good, I thought.
Yeah. I don't know if he's. I wonder if he was actually hard of hearing or because I know the woman, I forget her name, but she was the teacher. You know. She was the woman. She was in The Walking Dead too. She's an actual deaf actress.
Oh, nice.
And she was in The Walking Dead, and she was good in that too. And I like seeing her stuff. I think she does a really good job. And I don't know. I think it was just an interesting journey that this young man had, and it was a lot deeper than just hearing loss. You know.
Yeah.
It went a lot deeper than that. The only things that I guess I would say I wasn't that hot on is I thought they were going to touch more on his history of abuse and stuff. They didn't have to, but they put, I felt like a heavier focus on it during the beginning than I thought it would come up, and it didn't, so that just felt a little off to me.
I learned that.
Yeah.
From Addict.
Yeah, there you go.
I learned watching this movie. I learned. Addict.
Very cool. How they do their name signs I also thought was really cool.
Ruben.
Yeah, but that's not like, it's like, you take, I think you're supposed to take like the first letter, so this is like R, I think, or something like that, and it was actually this with like the thing crossed.
Ruben.
Because you take the first letter and then add a sign to like customize it. So you're not really saying like Ruben, but I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base and I wasn't paying enough attention. Here's the thing. I'm not a deaf person. And I don't really know that. I've never known a fully deaf person. I know people who are hard of hearing, but I've never known a fully deaf person. So I don't know how accurate or what kind of light they would think this movie paints the community. You know?
Yeah.
They had deaf actresses, so I assume it was not horrible. But the point that really gets to me was with the cochlear implants, because they do portray it as pretty bad, you know?
Horrible.
Pretty awful.
Like terrible.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder if people would be upset that you think this movie, if I saw this movie, or if I, like right now, if I went deaf, I probably wouldn't want to get a cochlear implant because they're really expensive. And as far as that movie told me, it sounds like shit.
Terrible, yeah.
You know? And it's nothing like actually hearing. And, you know, I don't know how true to life that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think a lot of people know. Yeah, exactly. So that's maybe like one downside to the film, but everything else was, I thought, really good.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
The father of the girlfriend in this movie was the flunky brother from the Christmas French movie On Compte de Noël that I talked about on the Christmas episode. And I like to think that it's the same universe, that he got his act together and he had a daughter, even though they have different names.
Nice.
You know, I don't know.
Same universe.
I just thought it was interesting because it was like the last movie I watched and it was the next one. It's very cool. Anyway, do you have anything to say about The Sound of Metal? I do have things to say that continue. Let's just go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just enjoyed the way they portrayed like listening to music after you go deaf.
The vibrations.
Just like the vibrations, like the scene with the kid when they're just he's just like knocking on the slide or whatever. And then one scene that like actually really got me, like pretty emotional, was it's just like it just cuts to it real quick and it's like 10 seconds, but the one dude's playing the piano and the whole class is just like laying on the piano, like have their hands on it. And I don't know, I was just like, wow, that's like really powerful image.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that.
I really like the ending as well.
I thought it was going to end earlier than it did. I thought when his girlfriend and her dad was singing, and then it like cuts to like how it's really bad.
And it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to cut to black.
And they clap and it's like totally distorted. It would have just been like a cut.
Yeah,
that would have been.
I thought it was going to end, but then there's like 2 more scenes. The movie goes on for like 10 more minutes after that.
That would have been an interesting ending, but I do think the other scenes helped it. I do think.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The final, where you kind of actually get, because that would have been a lot sadder ending.
Yeah,
if it ended like, that would have been devastating.
Yeah,
and like, oh shit, when's Sound of Metal 2?
Yeah.
But
the revenge of
right where he goes
Ruben.
blind too.
Yeah.
And there's just no video or audio.
It's just black
for 2 hours. Okay. I thought the ending was very good. I don't want to say exactly what it was, but it was very good. This movie this was a double feature. I watched a movie right after this movie. Do you want to guess what movie it was?
Soul.
I watched Soul right after this movie.
I'm so good.
And that may be one of the reasons why, guys, here's some news. I'm down on Soul. I don't like it very much. I think it's fine. I am flabbergasted by all
Boo.
Okay, sure. But do you understand when watching Sound of Metal why watching Soul immediately after it would like damper? Because they're about the same thing, aren't they? To an extent.
No.
How so?
How are they about the same thing?
Well, it's similar because
just because in the grand scheme of things, they're both about appreciating life.
In a way, but it's about losing something and making it you appreciate life still.
Okay, I guess
regardless,
it's the same thing, kind of.
So watching them back to back, obviously one was an adult film and one was
I would
a
argue
film.
Soul is an adult film.
That's another one of my problems with this movie is that I don't think this movie is an adult film and I don't think it's a kid's film and I think that's one of its biggest
So what
flaws.
is it?
Exactly.
Young adult, a YA?
It's nothing. That's what it makes. It's nothing. If it wanted to be an adult movie, it should have went that way and should have explored those themes. But instead, it's not deep enough for adults and it's too deep for children, so nobody benefits from it. A child watching, I would pay someone $1 million to find me a child who's like, Soul is my favorite animated movie.
I bet you there's someone out there. We don't know.
A little kid who's like, do you want to watch Inside Out or Soul? It's like, I want to watch the fun one, not the one that's like,
So
my
he
dad.
becomes a cat.
He does become a cat. And you know
That's what the kids are there for.
Seriously? That is the best part of the movie, to me, is when he's the cat and 22 is in his body. I think that should have been like the majority of the movie. Cut out some of the great before and put more time into the cat.
Quiet Coyote.
Because that was the most sincere part of the movie. And it was the funniest part of the movie. I don't think any of the jokes...
Well, yeah, they go back to classic Pixar.
Right, exactly. And I think that the rest of it didn't work. They should have went harder in one direction or the other if they wanted to make this more grown-up film, you know? Like, if it was literally just a film made for adults, it can still have fun stuff in it, obviously. But it didn't want to explore the themes as deep as is needed for an adult's mind to be stimulated. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't, because I disagree.
Okay.
I don't understand how you don't think they explored the themes deeply enough.
What's the theme? Enjoy life. Oh, wow.
Yes. That's the theme of like a lot of movies.
It is, and I think that it should have had a little bit more nuance to it. To, you know, it's saying, oh, you don't need a purpose to have a life, and I felt like even the purposeless 22 wasn't even explored. Like, she kind of got... Also, there's no conflict in this movie. Just... Can we say the story first? Because I need to explain why there's no conflict in this film.
What?
Well, let's explain the story. What happens? There's a guy, Jamie Foxx, and he finally gets his...
teacher.
He's a music teacher. He finally gets his big break playing for this band that he's always wanted to be a... You know, an actual musician, right?
Yeah.
That's in his words. And on the way to the show, he narrowly escapes death like 4 times, and then he falls into a manhole and he dies. And he goes to the death escalator
To the great beyond, and he's like, no, I don't want to leave. And then
so he just jumps out and he goes to the great before and he meets 22 and
he becomes a mentor.
And there's just way too much. They should have cut it down to me and get to the funny cat parts. Here's why I don't understand it. 22's whole thing is she can't go to Earth until she gets her spark.
Yes.
But she goes to Earth without her spark, so why does it matter?
Well, yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember how they...
The guru guy, she needed the
yes,
guru's
they
guy's
go
help.
because they make the hole.
Exactly. So
they did black magic to get to Earth.
So why doesn't she just make the hole and go? She doesn't need she can just go. And also that
she couldn't become a person though. She would just be like a tree.
Well, she could. She just had to kick someone out of their body. Because the cat had a soul.
She can't do
Here's
that.
another thing. The cat had a soul.
Do cats have souls?
It did. there was a cutaway where the cat was just like meow as it was going to the far beyond.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But then when she gets out of the cat's body, the cat's soul is back from the far beyond. Like they never explain that. Am I really supposed to believe that the cat was smart enough to run away from the white light and like climb over all the people? Potentially, but it didn't look like that from the cutaway gag. End, Rand. I just don't.
That was a nitpick, but
that was a nitpick. But I just don't understand why, when she came back, she didn't have a spark. It's like but you can just go back. You can, and it's like she was okay with taking over his body once. It was just very confusing.
She wanted to be her own person.
Did she?
Yes.
She literally ran away and was like, "I'm gonna stay here until I find it," and just ran away from the person that she was supposed to give the body back to. I don't think she cared. I think she was a little selfish.
No, because she didn't want to go back.
Exactly.
She didn't want to go back to the great before.
To give her body back.
Yes, because she wanted to figure out what her spark was.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So she wanted to spend more time on Earth living life so she could figure it out. So when she got back to the great before, she wouldn't be stuck again.
Exactly. But the
and
thing
hate
is
everything.
Yes, but she didn't need to because she could do it at any time.
No.
She just needs to draw the circle and then she goes into a body. Is she really that upset that she has to be not a cat?
But here's my other thing.
Okay.
The only reason that when they drew the circle and it worked was because
he visualized
he has a body.
Yeah, but I'm not saying before the movie happened. Before the movie happened, she can't go to Earth. I understand that. But after the movie happened, she could have just went back and then just visualized any of New York because she's been there now.
But is that how it works? We don't know how it works.
Fair enough, I guess.
I just think this is a stupid argument.
I just think it's weird that she was able to go to Earth through the special hole, but not the real hole.
Because there's no body for her.
But she did it. That's what I'm saying. She still did it.
Yeah, with the black magic.
Exactly. So I don't get why she wasn't just like, oh, I'll use the black magic. I'll find some baby and just kick out one of the people who's just born.
Because she wants to be her own person.
She is her own person.
Oh my gosh.
But the other thing with the spark is that I think they were very dishonest about the spark because her spark is nothing.
It's not nothing.
It is something. Then what is it? It's living.
Yes, it's wanting to live.
Exactly.
They said that.
I know, but it's stupid.
Why is it stupid that why? What? Your spark isn't like, oh, I want to play basketball. It's wanting to go live life.
Yes, exactly.
The Jerrys explain that.
I understand that, but it's just, how did they ever expect her to do it?
What do you mean? Expect her to do what?
To live ever. If her spark was living, she needed to live to live.
They didn't expect her to do it.
Right, exactly. But do you think she would have ever done it if she hadn't ever gone to Earth?
No, definitely not.
Exactly.
She's been through the museum
right,
she'd
been through the museum. Times. She was like taught by like Abraham Lincoln and like Mother Teresa and
like everybody.
I just thought that it was so... I thought it was weird because of who Jamie Foxx's character was and who 22's character was. Also, speaking of that, I thought they had absolutely zero chemistry. I didn't buy their relationship. If you told me that they'd never even met, Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx, I would believe you. Because when I think of Wreck-It Ralph, okay, and think of Ralph and think of Vanellope and how they're like brother sister, like super close, like he would die for that relationship. Do you really feel that between Jamie Foxx's character and 22?
No, but I don't think you're supposed to though.
That's unfair. I'm not allowed to have a good relationship in my movie.
But they're not like best friends. They're just trying to help each other.
So I don't want to watch a movie about people who are kind of uninterested in each other.
Well, I'm sorry then.
See, but the point, it's like if you think that's the point, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to watch that. It's just like, it didn't give me anything new. It was like, again, let me say, the best part of the movie was the cat parts. My hands down, my favorite part of the film is when they go to the barbershop. And he comes out of the barbershop, and the dude's like, hey, it was great talking to you. And she goes, why haven't we ever talked about anything other than jazz? And he just goes, you didn't ask. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my hands down favorite part of the movie. And I wanted more of that, unless weird beforehand, this is what it means to, like, I don't know. When they did all the cutbacks at the end to, like, the living, and he talked to his mom, and he talked to the barbershop dude, and he talked to trombone girl or whatever. Yeah. Right, you know.
I know what you're talking about.
It was like, it didn't... hit me as hard as I thought. Like they made me feel like I was supposed to be feeling what I felt at the beginning of Up. I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be feeling.
Same guy, Pete Docter.
Well, exactly. And he's always been pushing it. He did Monsters, Inc. as
Up,
well.
Inside Out, and Monsters, Inc. Probably like the 3 best Pixar
Right,
movies.
exactly. And that's another reason why Soul I was just disappointed by. Because I think he really wants to make this adult drama that deals with grief. And I thought it was weird that grief was never really even attempted to go through. I felt like if this was a movie for adults, they would have touched on the idea of grief. Because he goes to the great beyond, and it's like his dad's there. And he never even once thinks about that. You know what I mean? I thought that was strange.
Wait, what?
Well, his dad's dead.
Yeah.
So I thought for maybe a second he would like think about his dad for even a second, but he didn't. And I don't know. That just was weird to me.
Okay.
Because his dad's the one who got him to like love music and everything. Because the other thing, which I think could have been done more well, is we don't know if his spark was music. You know what I mean? We don't have confirmation that his spark actually was music when he was a new soul.
But it's not, because your spark is anything. Your spark is being ready to live. That's everybody's spark.
Right, exactly. But you get the last thing. The spark is like the completion of the whole, not the last thing.
Yes.
The spark is like the completion of the whole. Well, we don't even know if his special whatever thing was music. You know what I mean? I thought maybe that would be some kind of thing doing whatever, but it wasn't. I don't know. I just thought it was wishy-washy, the message throughout, and it should have been a lot more steadfast in the message it was trying to tell. And I think it's weird that the first movie with black people, they're blue for most of the movie.
Not even.
It's like half. It's a lot. I'm really bothered by how much Great Before there was. I thought it was way too much.
It's probably like 55-45.
Close enough. It's too much, I think. And also the character designs are like ridiculously bad when they are ghosts. Like the character designs give you like almost nothing about the character. Like they're literally blue blobs. Well, it's the point, but it's boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a fully formed human and he's still just a blue blob with a hat.
He's got his eyes.
I know, but the other dude's purple.
Which other dude?
The sign spinning guru man.
Well, that's because he has mastered the zone.
Right, exactly. And I thought I did like.
Yeah, well, hold on. Did you like the zone?
Yeah,
the zone was awesome.
The zone was cool. I still think it could have been, I don't know, a little bit more interesting to look at. I guess I don't know. It was just like.
You really don't think this was like a pretty?
No, I actually thought this movie was pretty ugly.
Even like the human parts.
The human parts were fine, but I mean, when you go so photorealistic that your animation is just like photorealism, it just becomes boring to me. It should be stylized in some way. Like, you know, I think when you just go for photorealism, I get it, you know? Because even the humans are relatively basically human-shaped and sized, you know? I prefer my animation to be, you know, animated, like big sweeping. Like, the way they moved was pretty animated. You know, they weren't, like, stilted like an Illumination movie, you know? But I thought that I just like a little more style. However, the music in the film, fantastic. You know, the jazz and all the score and everything that was going on was probably the only thing that really kept me going throughout the whole thing was all the music segments.
Yeah, this music's great.
Yeah, the music was like fantastic. And any kind of, because when they did the musical segments was usually when the animation stuff would kind of come out to me, when he'd enter the zone or other things would kind of change. But when it was just like normal life or the Great Before, I thought it was just kind of uninteresting to look at. I mean, what's the Great Before? It's like 4 colors. It's light blue, white. There's the Jerrys who are like orangish.
I love do you like the Jerrys?
The Jerrys were funny. Yeah.
I love the Jerrys.
And Terry.
Coyote.
I like Terry.
And Terry.
Also, it's at odds with my Christian beliefs. So there's that.
Okay.
Just saying. I don't know. I thought it was weird how they brought up hell and they're like, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? I just thought it was weird. I don't know. It really just did not sit well with me. I think a lot of it was Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx's back and forth. Because there's a line where it's like, millions of people or billions of people have tried to get through it, but it was you who was finally the one. And it wasn't really him. It was just the predicament that he was in. It wasn't really Jamie Foxx. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Jerrys don't know that.
Well, sure, yeah, but I felt like the movie shouldn't have even put that line in then.
It makes him feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good.
Well,
and when I watch a movie, I want to feel. I don't care if the characters feel good if I don't feel good. I wouldn't watch a movie of people just like laughing and. Well, I watched Midsommar.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of problems with this movie. Like I said, most of it is just the relationship was just flat. I didn't care for the main character is the big thing, and that was the whole disconnect. I didn't care if he lived or died. I don't know.
Well, newsflash, he does both.
Right, exactly.
He lives and dies.
I just felt like maybe the relation.
Okay. You don't have to explain yourself anymore.
A whole movie, which the whole point is like, what matters is your relationships, is let's have no relationships in the movie. And I get it that it should be the relationships happening. And he has a scene with the mom, barbershop, the old student. It just wasn't enough. There was just nothing there. It's just like, I knew what the movie was doing within the first 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I know this whole movie.
My review of the week is the past 20 minutes of this podcast.
Okay.
So when we get to the review of the week section, we'll rewind and we'll just splice this part in for my review of the week.
My review of the week will be yours as well. I don't know. People, seriously let us know what you think, because most people love it.
I love it. I don't think it's the best Pixar movie.
I think it's the worst Pixar. Well, no, maybe not the
worst.
Maybe not the
Pixar
worst.
Movie?
No.
Whoa.
The worst that I've seen.
I only haven't seen a couple.
I haven't seen a good bit of them. But probably the worst that I've seen. Uninteresting. Boring. It was boring. That's the bottom line. Boring.
The Knicks lose again. Okay. What's next?
I don't like. Yeah, that was a funny joke. No, that was. I've been messing with this team for years. But see, it was like one of those jokes for like every 40 minutes. To me.
Okay.
Boring movie. You get one, since that was technically me. I've seen that too, so just take one.
But we've already done like half of mine now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do another one. We were talking about Aubrey Plaza in Ingrid Goes West. Well, she was also in a movie this year called Black Bear. Directed by Lawrence Michael Levine. This movie, I don't know if it's a great movie. It's about a woman. Okay, well, what is it about? It's a 2-part movie. Part 1 is The Bear in the Road. Part 2 is The Bear by the Boathouse. That's the 2 parts. There's no third part to this movie. Or is there? Aubrey Plaza is a actress who... I'm going to spoil the shit out of it, just so you know, guys. An actress who is moving on to directing, and she's going out to this, like, beautiful log cabin that some people she knows has, as a kind of a retreat to get back into her writing and everything. And, she was a difficult actress, so now she's going her own way. And the couple that owns the place are bickering, badgering bunch of bitches. And they don't get along, and she ends up cheating with the husband, Christopher Abbott, who is a lot of people call him the Kit Harington lookalike. But after watching some movies he's been in, guys, he's so much more than that. Please don't call him that. He's a really good actor.
Kit Harington.
And so him and Aubrey Plaza start making out, and the wife comes in and she's pregnant. She bashes him over the head with a rock, and then she's having a miscarriage in front of him, and they go and they drive away, and then there's the bear in the road, and they crash, and the movie's over. Except wait, now it's part 2.
Whoa.
The Bear by the Boathouse. Boathouse. She is now an actress in a film about what we just saw. And she's belligerent and freaking out and drunk all the time, and she thinks that the actress aside her, who used to be the wife, is cheating on her husband, who is now the director, who is the husband from the first part.
This is making sense.
And now it's like kind of almost like a comedy, behind the scenes, One Cut of the Dead type movie.
Cool.
Where it's like behind the scenes, watching all the inner workings and everything. And then it ends, and we get a shot of her sitting on the dock, and then she goes back and she opens a notebook and she starts writing, and then she looks towards the camera. Aubrey Plaza does. So there's a lot of theories going around about what
yeah, whoa.
What does this movie mean? There's a lot of theories that none of it is real, and it is all Aubrey Plaza's character writing stories. And part 1 is the first draft of the story, and then she throws it away. And then part 2 is the second draft of the story, and it's a little bit better. It's got some comedy now. It's less stilted, you know. And then she scraps it, and then part 3 she hasn't written yet. She looks at the camera, and she's about to write the part 3, the final draft of her movie that she's writing. And maybe that's the one we just watched. I don't know.
Okay.
That's one theory. Other people are saying that the second part is real, and the first part is the movie that she wrote about the experience. And that's kind of where I lean, where I think Aubrey Plaza's character was who she was in part 2, and then in part 1, she was the wife, even though Aubrey Plaza wasn't playing that character.
Right.
It was the character of Aubrey Plaza was the wife character in part 1.
Yeah, no, I understand what
exactly.
you're saying.
Good. Yes. Okay. That's kind of the theory that I'm going with. It was a pretty fun movie to kind of untangle that way, because I sat with that for a while to think about it. With that explanation of the plot, I'm not quite sure what the bear represents, because in the writing one, the bear's like a writer's block because he always shows up at the end of the stories. Right. That makes sense. Not entirely sure what the bear could be in my theory. Haven't gotten there yet. I'm kind of tired of thinking about the movie.
Yeah.
But it is definitely not the same as something like Mulholland Drive or Burning, you know, as it comes to thinking, because this movie seems desperately to want you to think about it. You know, it definitely seems to be withholding things because it wants you to have these questions and kind of come up with your own answer.
Yeah.
Where at least the other two seem to push you in a direction. This one kind of hangs you out to dry, I think, which is a little unfair, I think. And it's why the movie kind of lacks a bit of a punch and why it's not this fantastic movie that I love. But that Aubrey Plaza, like you said earlier, she's really good in this.
Yeah, she's
a great actress. Christopher Abbott is also very, very good. I love him as the director in this one because he's just this neurotic little freak, and it's a at least watch once kind of movie. You know, that's what I say. Okay,
Black Bear.
Black Bear.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
My movie also starts with a B.
Okay.
This is Bacurau.
Bacurau. I want to watch this too.
Directed by, let me try to pronounce
Good luck.
these. Juliano Dornelis and Kleber Mendonca Filho.
Pretty good, I think. Maybe.
We'll see. This is a strange movie. If you're a fan of strange movies,
okay,
Bacurau is here for you.
Sweet.
Let me try to give a summary. Not like summary to spoil, because obviously I don't want to spoil for you. But it's about this village, Bacurau.
Okay.
And all the people that live there. And
good.
One day, they notice that they have no more connection on their cell phones to anything, and their town is no longer on the map anywhere.
That's a very interesting setup. Yeah.
And
so we're sci-fi territory then? No. Fantasy.
And then
horror.
Some not strange things. Well, it's strange at first.
Okay.
But then you figure out what it is.
Okay.
Early on, you're like, oh, and then the movie becomes something different.
Mm.
And I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
It's trying to talk around it.
Yeah, I understand. Is it something that you think would ruin your experience if you knew it?
Yes. This is a definitely know nothing
gotcha
type movie, because I didn't know.
Mm. I
was just I wanted to see it because I heard people said it was cool. It's definitely a know nothing type movie, but just the whole build up to the halfway point, which is when you kind of start figuring out what's actually going on, was really I was just what is happening? I don't understand what's going on, or what these people are doing, or what the point of this is. But then you get to the second half when everything starts coming together, and then things start happening, and you're oh, this is super cool. And then It's not a spoiler to say that a lot of people die in this movie.
Sure, yeah.
And I just wanted to note that this film probably has my single favorite, like, head explosion.
Oh, yeah?
Like, ever.
Okay.
It's freaking awesome.
Nice.
That's all I have. I can't say anything else.
Like, out of 10 rating or just thumbs up, thumbs kind of sort of up?
It's a hard 8, possibly 9.
Oh, okay.
If I watch it again, maybe catch some other things. But
Yeah.
it's like just, it's so weird.
It's a wild
and, like,
ride.
It is just like very surreal. It's like a fever dream, kind of. It's just
gotcha.
like, what is going on?
Kind of like Black Bear kind of made me feel Mother vibes almost at certain times. You know?
Yeah.
Where it's just very tense and very strange things that you shouldn't accept, but you do.
Yeah,
you know?
kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I would recommend Bacurau to anybody.
Okay.
And it's Brazilian. So but there's a lot of English in it too.
Okay.
For reasons that I will not explain.
Sure. Yeah.
But Bacurau was very good. I recommend. I have to watch it again because I'm like,
racking your brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see it again to, watch it again with like knowing everything. I don't know. That probably didn't make any sense.
No,
but
I got enough. I think that it interests me.
Okay, good.
Just even with the setup and then knowing that somebody's head explodes, like that's enough for me. Like, and that's cool.
Cool. And you said sci-fi. There is a flying saucer.
Okay.
That's all.
So it's silent.
But it's not.
Okay.
Just yeah. That's all.
Very interesting. Okay. I guess I'll talk about my next one, which is a little different because it's a documentary.
Nice.
It is from Arthur Jones. It's called Feels Good, Man. And if you are an internet person, maybe you already know what this might be about. It is about Peep. It's about Pee-Pee. The golden peep.
The golden peep. The golden pee-pee.
Pepe the Frog. And his original creator, Matt Fury.
Wow.
The guy who made Pepe the Frog. But what you might not know is that Pepe the Frog is actually from a comic called Boys Club that got adopted by internet people and then turned into, a hate symbol at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's kind of documenting the journey that this Pepe took from being just this weird comic out of nowhere to, being in KKK uniforms and wearing a Nazi sleeve and everything.
Storming the Capitol.
And it's pretty interesting. This movie maybe should have been like a series.
Oh, yeah?
Because obviously when you have something as simple as, it's an image, it's a drawing, right? It travels a lot.
Yeah.
But they touch on a lot of different subjects that almost could have had like a whole 45-hour episode dedicated to each one.
Really?
So obviously the overarching thing is Matt Fury dealing with, now the character that I've created and I still use is a Nazi. you know?
Tough.
And then you have like the 2016 election is a big, big focus. They talk about just the idea of memes because I forget who said it, but it was somebody you would know the name of, like a Dawkins or something, said people are made of genes and society is made of memes, like the original meaning of a meme. Like a chair is a meme. Why does a chair look the way it does? Why do we wear clothes? Well, it's a meme. That's what society has just agreed upon to, So an internet meme maybe has more power than we let on at first thoughts because it's basically saying how potentially Pepe helped lead to Trump winning the presidency.
Whoa.
And they go deep into that and you watch it and you're like, well, it's not that far off,
Wow.
They talk about how I thought it was a very interesting dynamic. They talk to someone named Pizza and their tag is 4channer.
Nice.
Just like imagine showing that to someone 100 years ago. Like, this young woman's name is Pizza. She's a 4channer. It's like, get the fuck out of my face. And their side of things, like they talk to people who I guess were I words, since I can't say that word, but like neats and stuff like that. And they were there when stuff was happening, and they were there when like the Elliot Rodgers shooting happened and stuff. Like the one guy, they had like pics of a stream he did where he was like had a Elliot Rodgers like t-shirt on and was like, yeah, woo, teach him and everything. And he was like talking about the interview and how these images were used by people for a collective togetherness. And the whole idea why it was so interesting was because when you dress up this cartoon frog as a Nazi, it's like, oh, it's a joke, haha. But then it's like, what is it? Like, you know what I mean? And it's kind of how far you can take that idea. Because eventually you talked about how Hillary literally denounced Pepe the Frog. Yeah. And people who knew laughed about it because they're like, oh my gosh, she just said Pepe the Frog is evil. What a weird woman. Yeah. And then people who had no idea what the internet was were like, Hillary's unhinged. It's a cartoon, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like the perfect outcome for that kind of stuff. And then they talked about Pepe coin. There's a guy he's like a millionaire now because he bought some rare Pepes. He bought the Homer Pepe, which is the rarest Pepe of them all.
What is happening?
And he's driving around in like a Lamborghini, and he's like, "This is my Homer Pepe. I bought it for $39,000. Now it's worth like $72.3 million." It's like, oh, okay. Somebody needs to explain like that stuff to me because they really only touched on it, and I'm so lost about how that even happened.
Wow.
Because it's like a cryptocurrency, you know. And I don't know where that money comes from. Don't explain it to me. I take it back. I don't want to know.
Interesting.
It was. So you can see how it could have been like a lot longer focusing each, if one was just about the election, if one was just about turning into a hate symbol, you know, one was just about Matt Fury, just about the rare Pepes. It was a very interesting watch.
I'm very interested.
There were very fun animated sections from the characters from the original Boys Club. Like very bright, colorful, almost like LSD trip looking kind of clips. There were very nice interjections into the talking heads, you know, that normal documentaries usually are. It ended on maybe it's titled "Feels Good, Man," and that was the original quote. Because the context for that, by the way, is Pepe was peeing at a toilet with his pants all the way down, and one of his friends in the comic is like, "Why do you do that?" And he turns around and he goes, "Feels good, man." And that's
all good, man.
So that's where it came from. And it ended on the whole idea that if Pepe could become a hate symbol, then maybe one day Pepe could not be a hate symbol anymore. And I kind of took it as more, it's like anything could be corrupted and turned into a bad thing.
Yeah.
But they went with the friendly, happy way. And I'm not too, you know, bothered by that.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a hopeful ending, sure. Because right now I'm pretty sure Pepe's still kind of...
Yeah.
I miss him. He's a cute little frog. It was, honestly, if you were kind of there and knew about Pepe during 2016 up to now or whatever, it's almost like a trip down memory lane sometimes. Like, there's a very funny video that we liked that showed up in the documentary, and I started laughing my ass off during the middle of the show.
Yes.
And it was almost like, oh, I remember when she collapsed in public and everything. So that was funny.
Like this?
Like this little froggy
You're
head
going
off.
down under with minions.
Yeah, I said it. Yes. I thought it was good. You guys could check it out.
Classic.
Internet documentaries can be weird, but this one I felt like kind of hit the nail on the head.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
I might watch that.
Sure.
Can we do
this one?
Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and then I'll do mine, and then you can do your last one.
I don't have oh yeah. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always from Eliza Hittman. Sorry about that. We both watched it this morning.
Isn't that crazy? We didn't even plan it.
That was kind of funny. It's about a teen girl who needs to get an abortion. She's from Pennsylvania. She goes to New York to get an abortion.
New York.
The place where dreams are made and aborted, apparently. Wow. This movie is a very... What's the word I'm looking for? It's I guess it's just nothing too insane happens. It's pretty realistic throughout, you know?
Very, very chill.
So it also means that, you know, there's not much of a totally gripping story at all times. Sometimes it drags and sometimes it drags a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
But overall, just because the actresses themselves portrayed a very realistic picture for each of their characters.
Yeah, they were great.
Were great. My hands down favorite thing about this movie was that the cousin character and the main character, the cousin character felt like just as much of a main character as the girl getting the abortion to me.
Yeah.
Because she had the whole thing with the older guy. Well, the older dude. Guy, yeah, the dude. I felt like they did a really good job balancing those two, where it really felt like it was both of their movies most of the time. That was honestly what I was most impressed with, where I was like, she feels like a totally as much of a character as the main girl, and I really liked that. The never, rarely, sometimes, always was probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's like not even close.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
Yeah,
and,
that really got me.
It revealed a lot about the character. They honestly...
Autumn,
yes. It was Autumn. Skylar?
Sierra? No, it's no way it's Sierra.
Skylar?
Maybe.
Okay. Not that important.
Check.
Cousin,
no,
other
it's
cousin.
important.
Okay. What was I saying?
We were talking about the one scene.
The ones, yeah, never, rarely, sometimes, always. They keep some stuff in the dark. Like, you don't actually get the answers quite to what actually happened.
Yeah.
Which I like. I think that they give enough that I'm pretty dang sure. Okay, cool. I'm pretty dang sure that I know exactly what happened, specifically like how she got pregnant and everything. It's pretty obvious, but they never really force it down your face, which is nice because it feels more rewarding to be like, oh yeah, this is what happened. I wasn't just thinking weird things. And it's honestly a view of the sexualization of young women in general, because they're 16, 17, I think.
17.
Autumn 17. I don't know if we know for sure how old, but
17. She said she's 20, but I think she was lying.
That was definitely a lie. Yeah. And seeing how at home they can be sexualized, at work they're sexualized, and then when they go to New York, they're sexualized.
Yeah. And
they really can't escape from it. And obviously Autumn, the main character, being pregnant, at the very beginning of their scene where she's called a slut in front of everybody. Mm-hmm. And she's a great singer, though. I actually really liked her voice. So I guess what the movie was missing was just the pace.
It shouldn't be a short film, but it should be like, it's a short movie. It's like an hour and a half.
Hour 40. Yeah,
but
like Host was like 55 minutes. You think it should have been like a 55 minute?
Yeah, I think it should have been like 50, 60 minutes.
I think there's a conversation to be had about kind of getting rid of theatrical runtime.
Yeah, nonsense.
Make stories that are as long as they need to be.
Exactly.
Like, let's see an hour and 7 minute movies.
Yeah, let's go. Bring it on.
It's basically a TV episode at that point now, but they used to be 24 minutes.
If it's one singular contained story, let's go.
Yeah, they should just be as long as they need to be. Unless they're Wonder Woman 1984.
Unless it's Wonder Woman. Make it 12 hours.
Make it 12 teen hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, the one thing, I thought the dude was going to go a lot darker than it ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it didn't, because the whole movie I was kind of bracing for it, especially when they went to walk off alone to like get a ticket or something.
Yes, that was scary.
And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And I did not want it to happen, so I'm glad that it didn't.
Yeah.
Even though it still wasn't great.
Yeah,
it's just coercion. I recommend it. People are loving this movie. Are really, really loving this movie. I bet it hits a lot closer to women, because it is a woman director, women's perspective. The idea of the abortion she's denied where she lives at her home in Pennsylvania, she has to go so far away to actually get it to happen for her. I bet it's just a lot of things that people could relate to if they've had those experiences. And I bet they'd really like it. I still think it was quite good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. But like you said, if it was just a little bit shorter, maybe just cut out some of the fluff, I'd probably really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. A lot of like aimlessly walking around.
Yeah, and not even like showing the city, just showing them aimlessly walk around. Up. So it's not even that interesting visually all the time.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Still good.
But you want to talk about visually interesting.
Sure.
We are going to talk about right now. Well, at least I am.
Okay, yeah.
This is by far my favorite movie of the year.
Okay.
I think this movie is great. Fantastic. Phenomenal. It is called The Vast of Night and is directed by Andrew Patterson. It is the only movie he has ever made.
Okay.
He's never worked on another movie. He's never even been like a key grip.
Yeah.
This is it. He wrote, directed, edited, produced. He did it. This is all him. And it stars Jake Horowitz and Sierra McCormick. Never heard of either of them.
I don't know.
They're both great. But this movie is set in I think it's like the 60s or the 70s or something.
Okay.
That's not important.
Sure.
What's important is it's about this guy, and he is like a radio dude or whatever. And they're in high school still, kind of like upper class high school. Anyway, they're like 16, 17, whatever. There's a big basketball game tonight. Big game. Everyone in the town is going to be there. Everybody. And so he's like, cool, big basketball game, but I have to do my radio show. So I don't get to be at a basketball game, but I'll teach everyone here will be at a basketball game. And the girl has to be at like the that people call operator. Yes, okay. I'll connect you. Sure, yeah. Plug thing in. What that's her job. I don't know what's that
operator.
Called? I don't know. She's the operator lady. Anyway, the lights at the game are having trouble beforehand, so he's trying to walk around fixing it or whatever, and the camera's just following him around, going everywhere, walking around. They're just having like just lots of crazy dialogue, telling stories. Hey, you do this. That's how. Yeah. That's how. And you're like, what is going on? It's kind of weird. The lights aren't really working. They kind of fix them a little bit or whatever. And then they keep on going. They have this really long walk where it's just the two of them, and he's walking her all the way to her work. And they just have like these, not like super deep, but like kind of deep talks or whatever.
So like I'm thinking of ending thing type talks, like in the car, like those kind of.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Kind of like that. And then she starts doing her job or whatever, and he's going to do his radio show. And then there is, I don't know the exact length, but I would say it had to be like 20 minutes long take.
Oh, yeah.
Not a tracking shot. It is literally like stationary close up on the girl's face. Well, it starts off as like kind of widening, like very, very slowly zooms in the whole time until it's like really close up. And it has to be 20 minutes of her answering calls and like plugging things. But it's very strange. This is a sci-fi movie. I don't know if I stated this.
Okay, yeah.
She's like answering calls or whatever and like switching people. And it's kind of weird because she heard this like really weird noise that's like a whoa, 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 and she's like, I can't figure out what this is. So she's like calling all these people like, do you know what this noise is or whatever? And everyone's like, no, I don't know what this noise is or whatever. And then this one lady calls in, she's like screaming, and she's like, I'm in the blank, and there's something here, and I don't know. And she's like, well, do you need help? Like, do you need me to call anybody? And she's like, there's something in the sky. And she's like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird, whatever. And whatever. And then they hang up. And she's like, well, that was really weird. So she's calling all these people trying to figure out what's going on. And then there's this, I don't know, I've never seen anyone do anything in a movie like this, but the camera like comes out of the room. And this is like a really long, like now it's a tracking shot. Comes out of the room and like goes out into the road. And there's nobody in the town because everybody's at the game, right? And literally, you just watch the camera like kind of like fly across the ground, and it just goes from where she is, and it just flies all the way through the whole town, through yards, everywhere. I mean, we're going for like 5 minutes, just flying over like the town or whatever. But you're like from like person POV, and you go all the way to the radio station where the dude's at, and then the dude is like there, and I was like, whoa, that was like really cool, just something that I've like never seen before. But then so she calls the dude up, and she's like, have you heard this noise before? And he's like, no, I don't know. I'll play it on the radio but nobody's listening to the radio because everyone's watching the game. But he's like, maybe somebody's listening. And so they're listening to the game, or he plays the sound, and he's like, if anyone hears this sound and recognizes it, call into the radio show. And then he's like, okay, whatever. Then they're chilling, and then someone calls in the radio show, and he's like, I could tell you what the noise is. And he's like, oh, okay, fantastic, great. And he's like, really weird. And then, I don't know. Do you want me to keep going?
This reminds me of Twin Peaks Season 3, Episode 8.
Really?
Which is like a masterpiece of an episode.
That's what this movie is.
So it's making me interested in this movie because it sounds.
So do you not want me to go anymore? We'll get into because we're getting into spoiler territories. That's like all set up.
How do I see it?
It's on Amazon Prime. Boom, ready to rumble.
To rent?
Nope. Yeah.
Okay, then no. Then definitely not.
Don't
not
spoil.
Continue.
Okay. The rest of what I will say becomes very interesting, and there's it's not like a plot twist reveal at the end, but like there is a reveal of something that's been building up the whole time.
Yeah.
And that reveal at the end, I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it like really took my breath away.
You're a big reveal guy. You like reveals and like twists and stuff.
I do. It's not really a twist. It's not a twist though.
Sure, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And just like, you'll see if you ever watch. Well, you will watch it someday. But just the way it's presented and like the performances from these people I've never heard of, really great. And just like the way this guy like moves the camera around and like plays with editing, like I was saying, when they have that really long like 20-minute shot of nothing, and then like right after that, I swear there's like 75 cuts in like 2 seconds. It's like, and I was like,
yeah.
But yeah, I only have one complaint.
Okay.
And it is literally the very last shot of the movie.
Wow. Okay. Wow. What a weird.
I just wish it wasn't there.
Oh. Okay.
I wish there's like one shot, and I was like, yes, cut
and
to black.
And it's not fine. It like is bad. Like you think it makes it worse?
I think it takes away a little bit from like the wonder of the movie.
Everything going on.
But like you're like, whoa, this is cool, and I was like, cool, just cut to black now. This movie's like borderline masterpiece for me. But then they cut to this other shot, and they like show that, and I was like,
oh, yeah, I get that.
But
it's rough that it happens right at the end.
Other than that, it was like,
yeah,
it's still amazing. I totally want to watch this movie like many more times.
Cool,
fantastic.
Pick up the Blu-ray.
The Vast of Night. Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, I'll look for it for sure. Maybe look at a Criterion. Probably not.
But maybe. Stranger things have happened.
That's true.
I'm definitely checking that one out from the sound of it, just because it sounds similar to something else I've watched that I like.
You're going to come in and be like, I hate The Vast of Night. It's terrible.
Be like, I don't understand it. Why?
It's right up my alley.
What's the radio operator's spark?
What's his spark?
I don't get it. It's boring. Anyway, I only have one left, and it is sci-fi-ish. It's sci-fi-ish.
Nice.
It's a sci-fi horror.
Ooh.
It's called Possessor from Brandon Cronenberg. Maybe you've heard. Anyway, Brandon Cronenberg. It is a movie with Christopher Abbott, who is in Black Bear.
Oh, wow. This is the Christopher Abbott podcast.
I guess. He's kind of... I'm keeping my eye on him now because he really impressed me in both of his films. Seriously. Not just because he looks like Kit Harington. Please. If this episode
loved him in The Battle of the Bastards.
He's so good. Possessor is about this woman who is an agent. She's like a secret agent.
Nice.
It's not as cool as it sounds.
Okay.
It's a lot more like kind of sad and I don't know, just kind of like gray.
Oh, okay.
That's how I explain it. And she gets put in this machine that she gets like an implant in her head, and they implant something in whoever else's head, and she can take over their body. So she's got this little dial, and she's got to set all the diodes right, and she can go into someone's body and take them over. So they're still there, and they like see everything that's happening, but they're not moving or talking. They're just existing, and she's living out their life.
Whoa.
And they do it for like high profile, like assassination reasons, and like people pay them to do these things, and they do it for like a lot of money.
Okay. Interesting.
And I just gave you a lot of information that the movie doesn't for like 30 minutes, but there you go.
Thank you.
So basically the one with this, Sean Bean's in it too.
I love him.
Yeah. Basically this one is she does it, and you know, the whole point is she doesn't get as full control of the body. So basically it's these two people living in one body, and even us, the viewer, we aren't really told who's in control when exactly.
Oh, cool.
So you kind of got to use how they're acting in a specific moment, how they're talking to specific people to know who's actually in control at any specific time, which is a very fun little exercise.
Yeah.
However,
there's a however.
Sadly, the film never quite lives up to its setup. You kind of expect bigger and better things by the end of it, and it ends and you kind of feel a little bit deflated. You kind of expected just a little bit more. And that's probably mostly due to the main character's character because she, after possessing other bodies, kind of loses pieces of herself and becomes almost more of a blank slate,
Yeah.
So it falls a little bit short in the end, and I think the ending is short enough that it would ruin it for a lot of people.
Wow.
They could come out and be like, oh, I thought I was going to love the movie, but then, it just kind of ended. And I would understand that. However, visually, it's David Cronenberg's son, Baron Cronenberg, master of body horror. Lots of blood, gore, and effects, everywhere. Like, they must have used like 100 gallons of blood in this movie. Like, there's so much. And, but it's still like tastefully done. It's not like, I don't know. It's good. It's just very good. They do a lot of bright lights and colors, mixing with these effects of blood splattering and everything. Just a treat for the eyes, I would say. Unless blood makes you uncomfy, then avoid this movie like the plague. But visually, it's enough to keep you into it to the end, even if the story by itself maybe kind of falls flat and goes off the rails a little bit by the closing scene.
Where can I watch Possessor?
Possessor, probably.
Did you watch
Prime.
it on Shudder?
No, it was on Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe it was on Shudder. Maybe I didn't need it. But no, I still thought, especially if you like gore effects and stuff like that, very fun to watch.
I do,
and good enough to just. And I thought Christopher Abbott was great. He was fantastic. Imagine playing a person who you got possessed suddenly and you don't really know what's going on, But
I love it.
It's very cool. Very cool. She gets her body, and the very first thing she does is like look at her dick, and I was like, "That is believable."
That's exactly
like exactly. She does it, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, weird."
See what I'm working with.
And then she pulls it down. She just starts crying. She's like, "Oh, I'm not in control." Okay, interesting movie.
Huh? Cool.
Out of all the ones, probably the most just interesting, even if it doesn't live up to it. So if you're really about premises, it's a good premise.
I like it.
Right.
I like good premises.
Yeah, you knew.
Okay. We did it. That was it.
We did it. And obviously, guys, we've talked about some 2020 movies already on the show. Like Mank. We already talked about Mank. It would have been on there. We talked about I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I talked about Palm Springs. I talked about Host. That was another really good one for the year. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Are there any movies that were 2020 that you've seen besides those that...
Defy Bloods was cool.
Defy Bloods, yeah. That was way early.
The Turning was just amazing.
The Turning was... Guys, if you see one movie from 2020, make it The Turning, because it is just...
With Mackenzie Davis.
It is so good. It's probably the best movie ever made.
Yeah, one of the best twists ever, too.
But one of the best twists ever, and definitely is satisfying.
Worth the money. I would throw it in... this is being completely serious. I would put it in like my top 5 favorite theater experiences.
That is true.
This was so awesome.
Like, especially... the movie ended, and like it goes to credits. I think she's like running her hand on like wallpaper or something. And you just hear literally every group who was in the theater, and this was before everything.
Yeah.
Obviously. This was like February, maybe.
It was like, yeah.
As soon as the credits roll, every single pod in the movie theater who all came as a group all turn to each other and simultaneously go, "What the fuck was that?"
It was so good.
It was so funny. We just heard everybody. We just heard, fuck. What the fuck was that? And everyone just slowly walked out of the theater, and everyone just kind of like kept looking at the credits, like waiting for more movie to happen.
Something happened.
Ended, and we're just like, okay.
So good.
Great movie experience.
So good.
Very, very good. as far as TV shows, I didn't get to finish this one, but Queen's Gambit, 2020 show, great. Everyone's in love with it, so that's just one you got to throw out there.
Devs. I was a big Devs fan, as you guys know.
Talked about
it with Garland earlier.
Yeah.
Dark season 3. We have a whole entire episode talking about Dark.
So that tells you enough right there.
Better Call Saul season 5 was nuts.
Yeah. Season 6 is only 30 years away.
Season 6, let's go. Bring it on. Final season.
There's a lot of movies that we didn't get to see that we probably would have been list. Minari being one of them.
Minari, big one.
Nomadland, Frances McDormand's, Chloe Zhao's film.
Pieces of a Woman.
Promising Young Woman.
Promising Young
Woman,
another one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to see
First Cow.
The cow. Oh, First Cow.
the cow. There's a lot of ones that we didn't get to see, regrettably, that probably would have ended up on here. But these are the ones that we checked out and I thought were worth a watch that we hadn't already talked about.
Yeah.
So there we go.
It's review time.
Review of the week time. Oh, let's go. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Boop. Okay. All right, mine gives it away really bad, but it's still funny.
So does mine.
Okay. 1 out of 10. The Sound of Bullshit. Okay. So the protagonist, who is a musician, goes to a medical consultation where they inform him that he has lost almost 80% of his hearing and that he may lose it all if exposed to noise. The first thing he does, go play drums.
Oh my gosh.
It's so unreal that it took me completely out of the movie because, let's see, option 1. The protagonist is so dumb that he prefers to risk losing all his hearing for a concert, in which case his story arc is no longer interesting.
Okay.
Or option 2. The screenwriter forced the scene to generate drama, which is much worse. Couldn't care less with everything that happened afterwards, since it's grounded on a stupid and illogical narrative decision because he wanted to play the drums.
Characters who have flaws are plot holes.
Plot hole.
But that's a real thing. People think that like characters making mistakes is like a plot hole, and I do not get it. It's like you think people are just like omniscient, they know the right thing to do all the times. Like the most interesting stories are ones that take very flawed characters and fix them or send them down a darker path,
Yeah, that's exactly.
A character without flaws is boring and not interesting to watch.
Yeah, dude.
People like that make me so mad.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a tough one.
Mine also gives it away. 1 out of 10. I could have ordered pizza and cried myself to sleep instead of watching this and would have been way happier.
Way happier?
Yo, full disclosure, I only got 15 minutes into this and 10 of those I was on Instagram. I was put on this movie by my boy Jason, who loved it. He always keeps it a stack and could not speak more highly about this film. So obviously I texted someone for a Disney Plus login to get on that Jamie Foxx tip. However, what I forgot was that Jason recently became an uncle, so his opinion of what are good movies is completely out of whack since all he has been watching are Paw Patrol episodes because he's been quarantined with his niece. Hard pass on this, like the corduroy sweater my Aunt Crystal got me for Christmas. I can't believe my mom made me handwrite a thank you note for that. Shaking my damn head.
Amazing.
His review for Soul and a review of his Christmas present from his Aunt Crystal.
Amazing. That was fantastic.
I just had to find, a like-minded person to know that's the level that I'm at is the same as that.
There you go.
Person right there.
Good for you.
There you go.
That was good.
I wish I should write reviews like that. Just give your whole, life story as your review. You can write your life story to us if you like.
On the email, because you can send emails to us. Did you know that? You can send emails to thestaglerpod@gmail.com. We get emails and we answer them. Well, if they're a question, we'll answer them on the
right now
on the show now.
Well, not right now. If you write it in the future, that
we'll do it at around this time next episode.
Yes.
Or whenever episode you send the message.
Approximately. We got two.
It's crazy.
Got two today.
We got two.
Happy 2020, guys. I hope your Christmas and New Year's went well. I'm sure You're both aware of HBO Max's decision to release everything on their streaming service.
Yes.
Which of their debuts are you most excited for? Okay, well...
Easy answer, Dune.
Yes, if that ends up happening.
Yeah, but also, like, low-key,
real
not
answer,
excited because, like, want to see it in the theater.
Exactly. So for me, well, I don't know. Because I was going to say Godzilla vs. Kong right away.
I want to see that in the theater, too.
Yeah, you kind of want to see that in the theater as well.
So...
2 very bad answers with this question.
Wait, what's the... I'm trying to think of the other ones that are...
There's a ton.
You know what?
What?
I actually have one that's perfect.
Perfect.
The Suicide Squad by James Gunn.
You know
I
what?
do not want to go see that in a movie theater. I would love to sit in my home.
Just the smell.
And just watch that on HBO Max at home with a nice sandwich or something, so I don't really have to pay attention.
Perfect. And you can pause
and I can turn it off if I don't like it.
Fast forward if somebody... Yeah, I don't know. That is a good answer.
I do that one, yes.
Next question. Dear Justin and Nick, how
thank you.
Did The Simpsons predict 2020 or events that transpired in general? Thanks, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
I don't know. Good question. What do you mean?
The Simpsons.
Well, let's be honest, because you see a lot of people talk about The Simpsons predicting things, but the thing you got to remember, I'm about to go on a ride here.
Here we go.
So The Simpsons was started in like 1990 or like 1989.
Okay.
That's a long time to pump out episodes all the time since 1989.
Yeah.
You're going to get some things right eventually, is all I'm saying. But everyone knows...
So you're saying they're not from the future?
Potentially not from the future. What did they predict? Donald Trump presidency was a prediction, right? They did that.
Like everything that's ever happened, they've predicted.
A lot. They did some stuff with Lady Gaga. I remember that was a big thing. The Higgs boson particle, they predicted, which is kind of a big deal.
I mean, hello?
They predicted quite a bit. However, that leads me to what I mentioned earlier, where we said that society was made of memes. I think that people misunderstand that. I think the pop culture phenomenon that Simpsons was, more specifically, less than it is now, because it was super, super huge, and it's still The Simpsons, but it's not quite the colossus that it may used to have been, because I think they did Disney buying Fox. They predicted that as well. I think it's an idea of maybe not predicting, but what effects does popular culture have on our society at large when it is such a well-known... Like, what effect do superhero movies, since they're the big thing, everyone knows them, most people love them, What effects are those having, on how we live our lives? That meme, And I think The Simpsons is just kind of an idea of that, where they're actually pushing us in those directions, not predicting things. It's kind of putting the seed in to make it eventually happen. You know what I mean? That's how and I don't know, maybe that's...
This is getting really deep.
Maybe that's scarier than the idea that they can put something in a cartoon and then it'll make people do it. Maybe that's scarier than them being from the future and just predicting it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, your ideas, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I'm going to go with they are from the future and they just like to make fun of us.
Fair. They did a pretty good job of doing 2020, though, with the election. I think there was like Killer Bee episode. They definitely had a pandemic episode at some point.
Yep.
So good for them.
The Simpsons, just keep on dumping them out.
The Blanksons. Oh my God.
Oh,
Twitch. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Twitch.
Please don't ban us.
Oh, the Blanksons. The Blanksons.
The Blanksons. God, so sorry. What are we gonna do?
Guys, we got to get out of here before the police get on to us. I hear sirens coming already. They're knocking at the door. Oh my gosh.
Hold on.
We got to go. We'll be there in a minute.
We'll be there in a second.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
It's great to be back. I got to say, it's great to be back with Stagler.
Let's go.
Next episode, we're going to be doing our spotlight on the Spy Kids quadrilogy.
Yes, it's going to be great.
We're very excited for it. We love the first 3 Spy Kids movie. Never seen the 4th. But we'll get all into it, and it'll be a ton of fun, and we can't wait to see you guys there. Until then, I've been Justin.
And
I've been Nick.
And I've been Justin.
Perfect. And this has been The Stagler.